the momentum swing, get onto the offensive half and continue to stack up the rounds. This could be a good game plan for Movistar. It worked in that last map up. And here in the best of 3, it's a good way to start.
Yeah, for AVEZ's sake, obviously they wouldn't have a chance in that best of 1 of sort of seeing what happened for the Movistar Riders camp. But you've got to think for AVEZ, if they start off on that T side, I'd like to see a little bit more aggression. We saw for Level Up, they were forced very passive on T. There was a lot of the utility damage coming through. They were trying to hold off the Ts a lot. So for AVEZ, they're not a team that like to get aggressive. They are a general sort of passive team that every now and then, every sort of like 5, 6, 7 rounds, they throw in a quick site execution. I'd like to see a little bit more aggression to come out from AVEZ, especially on the T side of their opponent's map pick.
Well, AVEZ will certainly be a team that you would hope to be able to bring out a good T-side half, especially on a map like Inferno, but not exactly a map they've had very good results on in the past. And, well, they have managed to go 2-0 in terms of the map scores so far between these two teams spread out over the course of the year. Ooh, okay. I'm imagining that they'll still be the favourites in this series, but our partners at LootBet do not seem to agree. They're favouring Movistar for this matchup. 1.68 versus 2.08 on the money line. So if you want to take advantage of that, you can click the banner underneath the Twitch channel, go to LootBet and take advantage of our 10 free CSGO spins plus €100 bonus for your deposit. Bet on this match and all maps, at all matches, I should say, at Malta Vibes, only for our gaming partners at LootBet. So small tech pause to get things started. Had a similar issue over in the first map with Movistar Riders. So, you know, hopefully we'll get this sorted out much quicker than the last one and we'll get into the game pretty quickly.
One thing we really didn't touch on in the pre-game, now one big difference between these two sides is that maybe it might change for the Movistar Riders, but at least from what we've seen from them over the course of this year, they've never really had like a star player, like a star fragger. Now when you look at AVEZ, Kai is that player. He is so damn consistent. He puts up crazy numbers for AVEZ. So you've got to think going into the series for Movistar Riders, they need to be able to control Kai, because when he gets going, especially on that T side, he is unstoppable. He's really young, he's very talented, he's great in clutch scenarios, and he keeps his cool. That's one of the big things. He doesn't get pressured very easily.
And for a player who's only like 19 years old as well, like Kai being in that position to be that calm and collected with so much more potential potentially behind him, the positive sign for his future career, and certainly a positive sign for AVEZ at this current juncture. So let's see if he can bring that confidence out to this particular map up in this particular series. I'm expecting that he will be able to do so. Again, one of the players that I'll have my eyes on when it comes to AVEZ. So tech pause very quickly gets called off, and we're underway for our pistol round. A fuse from our pause with a smoke down. No further utility for the CT camp. No utility bought. Oh, sorry, there is utility bought for Nora and Bialy. Didn't quite see it there, but single flash spoken HE for both those individuals. Upgrade pistols are not here for the T side, neither for the CT side either. And here we go. It's the pistol round of our first map of our best of 3.
Starting things off, Movistar Riders on their map pick looking to get an early start. A couple of nades into the boiler position, only do a fraction of damage up to steel. But look at the stack towards this B bomb site, up towards the top of Banana. It's Kai to start things off. The wide swing coming up, not quite the second kill. The trades to come out in a 4-on-4.
Alex shocks back up very, very quickly here. It's Kyler making his way on to check out those sandbags in case they're still there. Doing damage on towards Alex to swing out from the T-side player. Also back even further into the CT cross. Got one player held back to the back of new box. Meanwhile, over in the A side, the T is going to mass rotate, and Steel's going to spot that out, calling the info. Larson gets a kill on Nora, peeking out the apartments and finding a player on the side of the head. A 4-on-3 situation, and Steel watching out with the USP. Here they come. Taps around the corner. Larson going to get contested. Steel goes down. Larson now suppressed, and he's back up desperately, and they're on their way. But Alex is so low, and he's going to take first contact. Bomb plant to be secured. 3-on-3 scenario, and the CTs being suppressed. They're going to be stalled for time.
Oh, re-smoke coming in from Moto as well. That's going to make it so much more difficult, both for Alex and Shocks, to get that retake on. It's got to come down to Larson to pull some distractions away, to be able to find some sort of opening in the side. Movistar Riders are really taking their time. They are wasting so much with it just from this one smoke coming down to the Moto position.
He's got the kit as well. He's low HP, so Shock's ready to pick him right back up. And they take the swing. It's Larson that makes his way out. Sees one player, takes out Bialy towards the pit position. They're sticking the defuse. Kyle's going to try peeking, try to take down Shock, but they're staying alive. With Marcos falling, Kyle's left alone. And Alex doesn't need to frag, just needs to defuse. He'll get the opening pistol for Movistar Riders.
I just don't get that from AVEZ. Like, if they planted open for default, then I can understand escaping back to the apartments and short, but why are you escaping when the bomb's planted in the side? There's no way that they can defend. I'm not sure what the call was there, but for AVEZ, they just are hoping that the bomb's not getting stuck. Movistar Riders just figure it out straight away. Okay, this bomb is right in the middle of the site. Let's just defuse it, try and defend. And AVEZ are just in the worst positions on that post plant.
Yeah, no, that was not a fun time there for the T side. AVEZ in a real awkward spot on that retake. And that post plant could have gone so much better for them. Damage being done early. It's Larson getting Norot. Steel gets Kyler to follow suit. UMP ready as Bialy does find Mopos for a quick frag. Bomb dropped in the mid position though, and still continuing to suppress and contest. AVEZ going for an eco in this next round, so they're looking for the buyback in the next round. Get the rifles in and try and fight back from there.
So far, so good from the Riders. Only losing a single player and forcing the T's further and further back. Under a minute on the clock. Not a great amount of utility up for the Riders. They have used quite a lot of it. You've got to think for AVEZ, they're just trying to see if they can get some sort of opportunity, see if they can get an individual to find just a one dig or just an opening pick. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Only a couple of upgrades to the rifles will come going into round 3, but the Riders, they clean up pretty calmly.
2-0. Simple stuff coming through Movistar. Winning out the pistol and the conversion, the eco for AVEZ means the rifles come out very early for this side, and that could potentially hurt the economy of the Movistar Riders. Of course, they're reinvesting into this next round. A couple of players, or one player dropped, and of course, utility needs to be brought back down. So 2 SMGs in play with the M4s on Mopos and Shocks and the AWP for Larson. Marcos are immediately ready to try and take face on a player crossing. Nades back and forth from both sides, but minimal amounts of damage done to Kai to open things up. AVEZ currently held back. Just playing possum and passive, and Nora will take the majority of the HE damage to start.
The molly and then the HE follow-up doing some great damage down to Nara. Larson's got a big off angle with this AWP, and even for Nara, just the jiggle peek towards Broken Wall, no flash, no support, an easy picking coming out from the AWP. A great start from the Riders. Larson to open up.
Orb standing, edge of the Broken Wall. Kai, Bialy and Marcos moving in. Bialy boosted up, seeing that man no. Frag found for V4. It's Mopos left behind the coffins area. Flashes and smokes will start coming through. He's the only player standing with the defensive. He gets one pick to force the rotation back to the CT players. It may be a way in, indeed. He does find Marcos, so 3-on-3, but it's SMGs versus rifles for the most part here on Movistar.
That's the big thing, is there's no rifles in the hands of both Alex and Steel. An opportunity to pick one up towards Banana, and that's an AK recovered. Now, AVEZ, we've seen them struggle in the past in the pistol round in post plants. 3-on-3, no utility to back them up as well. And for the Riders, taking their time once again.
AWP picked up by Steel, sees one out construction, swaps back to the UMP, gonna face it against Kyler, sees that man, it's an AK kill. Alex chimes in, but he's low HP, 16 for a 1-on-2, still makes it out of it a second. Third frag, potentially against corner here for Kyler, flicks back, no, but Kyler wins out the fight. 4K to his name, Orb just about saved, and the first goes to the board of AVEZ on their rifles.
Reset the money completely. Movistar Riders, there's no real way that they can force into this round. AVEZ, they need someone to step up massively. We see the opening kill going the way of Larson. Bialy gets boosted up on the Broken Wall, able to trade it back into a 4-on-4. And from there, the 4K coming out. And Kyler, big round from him. And that's what AVEZ need, especially on your opponent's map picks. You need individuals to be stepping up. And you've got to think, if they can just work on their post plants and make them stronger, AVEZ are going to have a bit of an easier time on the T side. But that's where they need to focus in the most.
That towards the mid control, bomb dropped outside a second. Larson with the Deagle, slowly moving up, creeping in, trying to find an angle, but nothing is going to be seen for the moment. It's Kyler here with the AK. Damage done by the AWP early. 5-man stacking towards the A site. It does get overwhelmed by the first player peeking in, but if they continue to commit here to this bomb site, then we could be seeing the pistols overwhelming the hit.
AVEZ, they just need to get a little bit of information that the gamble stack's coming through, maybe a bit of a gut feeling. And they are backing off, Jay. I tell you what, it's always nice to see when a gut feeling comes through from a T side and they run into an empty bomb site. And the riders will be, guys, come on. Like, we flipped the coin, we stacked A, and unfortunately, the T's are going B.
Indeed they are. No one's there to defend against it. They will smoke out cross. Oh, stairs, actually. Stairs and coffins, interesting. I think I spread through towards the CT cross and take that control out. Just clear out construction, realize that there is nobody here in the back line either. So, plant secured, confident. And 2-2 as AVEZ look to equalize against MOVISTAR. But again, an eco to come through for the CT count. They're mostly looking towards rifles in round 5.
And not a massive amount. The riders just quite happy to stay here. Don't give her up sort of any opening opportunities. They don't know as well that there could potentially be like an SMG or something in the playing field for AVEZ. Because you've got to think that AVEZ have read the economy to sort of say that they're not going to have any money going into this round. And we didn't see any SMGs coming forward, but that's probably why the riders are just opting to go back. They don't want any of the MAC 10s to be able to farm up. It's not going to be the case, but that's the reason behind it. 2-2. The riders now. They can go... Actually, no, Steel can drop an AWP. I was going to say Larson can go glass cannon, but Steel's going to drop an AWP instead.
Big green guns out for Larson and Markosh. AVEZ a confident good round here to potentially follow suit as well. MOVISTAR's buy-up is not amazing. They've got 2 from Arses. Better than the SMGs, but again, that issue coming down to if Mopos and Alex left to retake, things are going to get real awkward, and that's kind of what lost them in the last round. Smokes down early on with the utility sets, which they do have a pretty decent amount of here. Wasted smokes on 2 of the T-side players, and the nades up, stacked in against Norrot. 12 HP, he's low. Nades trying to respond, doing very minimal damage in return, so MOVISTAR get the early advantage.
Now that looked really awkward from the T-side's Banana. An extra smoke being used to get rid of that molly, which wasn't necessary. And then the nade damage again. Naro has been taking so many of these HGs. AVEZ have finally been able to take this Banana control off the back of the riders falling back a little bit more passive. And that AWP is over to the A bomb site. For AVEZ's sake, they really don't look like they want to hit A at all. Maybe just see if they can leave a single lurk, a bit of utility, but they're setting themselves up for a pretty simple B player.
Smoke up, 55 seconds. They're just holding off against that B play for the moment here. MOVISTAR running Norrot to low HP. The AWP gets passed off to him as a result. The smoke set towards cross coffins, flashbang up to the site. Mopos and Alex on the Famarsis. Both Famarsis here on the site defense. That's not good. They need back up real quick. And when one player will bait in, Alex will get the kill, and a second drops off the second box. Here looking for his third. He gets a dink down on Bialy, but no kill. 3 on 3 though, and Norrot and Bialy are extremely low. They've got to find the pick on the AWP first. And Shox was ready for that contact top of the first boost box position. This retake actually could look pretty good here from the Riders.
Shox has got an incendiary. This could be used out towards the new box or sort of second orange's position to try and force one of those T-side players out into the open. Marcos with a massive off angle on top of the dark boxes. And finally, he's been seeing the trades coming out, and that's all down to Bialy. And he's soloed, 20 HP. He really can't be. They're going to stick the defuse, still checking it out. Bialy might be able to win this. He gets off the bomb, and Shox doesn't have time. A massive clutch coming out from Bialy. And Shox was sticking the bomb and still just needed to try and defend.
I don't know how Bialy made that happen, but it works. It definitely works for AVEZ. A lead being taken early, and MOVISTAR in with an early tack pause as well. That was not a round they should have lost. I think they know it as well.
Where was the incendiary? Like, it seemed like they had the utility to work with to get into the site, and it was just a little bit miscoordinated. Unfortunately, they tried to just have a single player stick the bomb and still to try and defend shocks, and as soon as still goes down, that's it. Now, they had a couple of different sort of variations. They could have wide swung together. They'd already cleared out that new box position, so there couldn't have been that many options of where b3ally was, and he was so low. He was only 20 HP, Jay. What a 1-on-2.
With a Galil as well. It wasn't even like it was an AK headshot or anything like that. It was a baseline basic rifle, and it just did not work out. MOVISTAR, very disappointed in that round. You can already tell it out here. Incendiary's up, Molotov's down. AWP, the only rifle to work with, saved in from the last one. And Larson is hoping to get a kill on somebody out here towards the banana control. Flashes will just force him off the angle. Oh, not actually. He gets himself off the boost. Still refaces though. That flash catches both players. While still will get one frag. Kai and b3ally are quick to return. So he's out towards the apartment. Got b3ally there, held out. Takes on a good headshot. Okay, that's damage done. A couple of rifles that him and Alex could pick up, but there's no retake coming in. There shouldn't be. Alex facing this far forward is making a very terrible decision. He's going to lose his life. Does do damage to Kai, but that could have been 2 rifles they saved. So, again, bad call, I think, from the Riders.
Yeah, not the best one. 4 on the board for AVEZ, and you can tell pretty much immediately in this first map, Jay, that there's a big difference if you sort of compare the base level of AVEZ to level up. MOVISTAR Riders have not been able to find the same success. They looked very strong retaking on that CT side. It seems like it's been a struggle so far. 4 rounds in a row now for the AVEZ camp. Now, the money line is still relatively low, and that's because MOVISTAR Riders have been able to chip at that economy, not make it build to a massive amount just yet. Going into round 7, the buy should come through. Alex can drop an AWP, or maybe Steel can drop an AWP over to Larson. When do they decide to run double AWPs? We didn't see that at all in the best of 1.
We're not going to see it now here from MOVISTAR. Something tells me they don't like the double AWP setup, which may cause a problem for Train if Larson's left alone to do the AWPing all alone, but for now here on Inferno, it's perfectly acceptable for my money. He's going to get that kill for it as well, straight up on a second mid presence. b3ally goes down earlier. Frag found, Norot tagged up, still isolates a kill on Mopos at a flash around the corner from Kai. Takes a second face on Alex, smoke down towards Cross. If he gets shocked next, that would be amazing, but no. The M4 shuts it down, looks in for a second pick, and gains the advantage back from MOVISTAR Riders.
That's not needed from Kai. He knows better than that. There's just no real need for him to find that. Yeah, he opens up that kill. They open up the B bomb site, but all alone, it's now just going to separate the team. Marcos is going to be the last one left, and that was an overextension that was capitalized on instantly. Kai's going to be kicking himself for that. There was no reason to wide swing to try and chase for that last kill.
Yeah, if he just held that position here, Nora in particular, if he just took that second face here on towards Alex and they just fell back from here, then they would have been able to maintain control. They probably would have won the round right there. So mistakes being made by 2 individuals for my money. But there'll be no mistakes to be made over on a Hell case. You can get some 6 skins over some 6 cases. Use codes MultiV and MultiV15 for your free money and free 15% refill bonuses. Only at our case partners at hellcase.com. Orbs in for Noro, missing his first shot. Mopos will take him down, temporarily blinded by the flashbang, but it's Shocks that gets credited with the assist there. Counter flash is coming through, Alex continuing to face up. Kai will take him down, but Mopos gets that trade to a 2K. Steel falls in the interim, so a couple of trades coming back and forth in the apartments where the CTs hold from. And they've got Larson held out here. Mopos gets Kylan next, and b3ally left to face towards a pretty open banana position. Larson catching Marcos next, leaves it all to b3ally left as a 1 versus 3. They know exactly where he is. They're hunting him. They're looking to take this rifle right out of AVEZ's hands.
They know exactly where he is. And b3ally, 1 on 3. He's got so much work to do. Now, he gets a pretty good idea. He knows where Larson was AWPing around that boiler position. He knows that they pushed down quite aggressively to Banana. Doesn't read the play coming out from Mopos. And I'll tell you what, Banana's a bit of a coin flip at the moment. It's so chaotic. There's so much utility damage coming through. There are so many spams from both sides that it really is a coin flip of who's going to win out Banana, because sometimes we see AVEZ is winning it, and sometimes it's MOVISTAR Riders. It's not one team consistently taking Banana easily.
Nika coming through from AVEZ here in this next round. Once again, MOVISTAR locked in a war of the economy here on Inferno. And they do get punished for that, actually. Aggression coming through from the rifles, and the first frag does go the way of steel, but the trades are thick and fast. Fortunately, they have a second player for a 2-for-1, and AVEZ have the apartments and the slow brackets control. Can recover a rifle as well to work with, so bit more firepower to work in, but with the lack of Kevlar, the lack of utility, I imagine that the best they could potentially do is sneak a bomb plant in, maybe get a couple of plays to do some damage, but probably not win the round here.
Apps Pop trying to come out, flashbang over. They've seen the pit player, but they can't deal with shots. And easy cleanup coming through. Only a single player went down from Steel early into the round. So the lead going back in the way of the MOVISTAR Riders. And it feels weird to sort of not say, like, back in the lead for the Spaniards. I'm so used to it for the Riders. It's for me, it's going to take a little while to not recognize them as just a Spanish team anymore.
I mean, it's like MOVISTAR are so synonymous with Spanish Counter-Strike that it is one of those things that's like, oh, that's jarring, isn't it? But it is what it is. And for MOVISTAR Riders, it will continue to be. The AK's out here for the T side. Smokes down. Of course, the M4s to respond. Double AK. Double M4 in the AWP of Larson. No AWPs for AVEZ as Larson waits for the first frag. Misses on the shoulder bay, actually. Steel still held in Boiler, gets one frag, swings on a second and gets the double up as well. Markosh gets a trade, but Larson's out of dodge now. Backed up to a standard defensive position. Meanwhile, the CT's acting upon the banana aggression. Gonna set up a backstab. Kai does get shocked back to a 3-on-3, but Markosh getting Markosh, dropping that bomb. Kai swings, Alex deals with him, and Kyla is left standing alone.
1-on-3, can't even connect onto that last kill of Mopos. Well, I tell you what, that was actually such a big play coming out from Steel. So he actually tries to pull some sort of distraction away from Boiler to allow the AWP of Larson to fall back into a bit more of a passive position. And from there, there's so much contest in the apartments that the B players, they just walk down Banana, they swing out, drop that bomb in the open. And now this is the control that we want to see coming out for the Riders. They've forced AVEZ to take a tactical pause, take a bit of a moment of respite just to kind of think what's going on. Because this is the opportunity really where the Riders can start to run away with this first half. They're up 6-4, potentially to go 7-4. And this is, what, 4 rounds in a row now for the CTs, and AVEZ have not been able to catch a break.
To extend this lead here from MOVISTAR Riders with no major buy coming in from the T side. No rifles, no SMGs. It's basic pistols, Kevlar, and 1 HE. Meanwhile, the nade stack coming through already from Alex here alongside Mopos. Doesn't quite land as far as they wanted it to, nor held back at the wood stack. Flashbang into his position will at least catch him for blind for the moment. But MOVISTAR Riders putting their stand associated down. Kai still lands a blind headshot on Mopos, so that's 1 frag sustained. Alex might not be ready, however the BT popping out, doing the damage, not quite getting the pick back. They are doing quite a lot of health down on these CT side players. Larson and Alex are susceptible to kills here. AVEZ have done quite a good job with these pistols.
They've done an unbelievable job. Unfortunately, they won't quite know how much damage. They would have heard the dink coming out, so at least the information can be pulled forward that Nara was able to do a fair bit of damage onto the CT side. And for Bialy, he's just waiting for some sort of overextension. Now, if Shox jumps up in that pit position, this should be an instant kill coming out from Bialy. AVEZ, all they need is just a couple of body tags.
And Larson and Alex are in a real awkward position. They've someone had to like swap Larson back over to the A side defensive and get Steel in alongside Alex the crossfire set. But this does mean that both bomb sites have a player that can be traded. Kyla's grabbed that AK meanwhile, so extra firepower to work with. Get that off the Markosh, my friend, because he's going to be so valuable here. And Shox tagged to 24 health. These pistols are doing a manic amount of work, but he does isolate a kill. Get Kai down. 20 seconds. The AK still swinging forward. Steel gets it to drop now. It's all the Markosh and Bialy. Last 2 players left. 15 seconds to stick this bomb up. Get it planted if they can. AWP ready for a slow face, though. Drops it. Bialy left alone here. Does take 1 player down and secure a plant, so that's bonus money, and even more damage could potentially swing his way if he can find Larson and Alex.
I tell you what, they could be happy with this so far for AVEZ. They've got a couple of kills. They've got that bomb plant in a round that they really didn't invest all too much. And the Riders, you've got to think they've got to be wary about this retake with two players incredibly low of Larson and Alex. 13 and 15 points of health. And Bialy's just trying to waste as much time as possible playing around this pit position. It all comes down to timing. There is the high HP player coming in from the short position as well, but he can't find any more. So Movistar Riders are going to get the retake through. And it was looking a little bit scary. I think AVEZ, they obviously won't know how much damage they've been able to do on the last couple of players. But I tell you what, that could have been a round to go their way with how low they were.
I mean, you talk about being scary, and you could see how scared Movistar were playing for, you know, so passive, waiting and baiting and hoping that Bialy makes a mistake and goes too far out towards short or long. And that would have been their way in to get the kill at that stage. That's when you would have known that the confidence was swung back from Movistar, but the fact that they were playing so carefully, not wanting to take a face at all, just highlights exactly how much they got done there on that eco. But rifles back out for Realsies this time, seeing if AVEZ can replicate that performance on the main weapons. Of course, heavy investment, and the AWP of Larson boost up for the first pick. Could not get the kill on Markosh, though. Orp battle not won by either side, but it does force Movistar Riders to go passive.
And you can actually see to the top of Banana, Kai actually puts down a smoke to get rid of that incendiary. Now, this is a lot of the time what teams like to do from the B anchors is get that molly or the incendiary and smoke towards the top of Banana to force the control out from the T's behind that broken wall position. And that re-smoke coming down from Kai allows them to hold on to top Banana. And for the Riders, very passive at the moment. They don't have a great amount of information, but now they're starting to push the apartments, and Shox is going to get all the information in the world.
Slowly but surely, Shox will see nothing, and that will force a third player back. Still holding out that mid and brackets control on the part of Larson of the utility, but now the AWP is going to start making its way in as well. Utility is set up towards the B site play. Cross and stairs coming down. Blind spray back from Steel will do damage to Norot, forcing him to go passive for a second wave of utility coming through right about now. Still Steel pushes in. Norot takes him down, and Alex held out towards the first box. Going to get supported here by Mobbos, who seeing one top of those boxes, gets the spray through the smoke. Kyler being suppressed. Kai gets that kill. Moppos and will fall. 3 on 2. M4 swinging, catching one with a reload. Outburst on the bomb partner, takes him down. Got Kai left alone. Too many angles to check. No idea where the second CT was coming from. And Movistar will get to 8 on a clutch retake.
And you can never expect the Banana player to be that quick, because a lot of the time it's maybe 10-15 seconds after that post plant, maybe even 20, before you get any kind of Banana presence. AVEZ, look, they did decently on the trades, but you've got to think it was just too slow. It allowed that backstab to come through. They were able to stack 4 players up on that CT side of the B bomb side. The fact that they were even able to find entries and trades was pretty impressive in its own, considering how many players were there at that B bomb site for the Riders.
Oh, Markosh.
Lovely.
That's an opener. AWP of Larson can't find the trades. A risky peek in for the Riders, and that's exactly why. AVEZ, early man advantage, but nothing else is going to be found. They've been locked out of the apartments controlled by utility, and they're all stacked up here to this entrance.
Again, Banana control coming through. Now, if they are cheeky enough, they can actually press even further forward from Alex. AVEZ lining up through the apartments. Look how many players are here from the apartments. This is going to be an abs pop.
Seems like it will be. Shox set back, flashes over, keeps him blind. AWP scopes in, takes the man down. AK still here towards Shox, but Kyler drops him. AK still looking for a player out from long. AWP from Larson can't find his way in. Marcos pushing forward over a boiler, and Larson catches him as the smoke starts to fade. He gets a bit of a gap, and a 3-on-3 scenario now bought by the Riders side, and they're going in for a very slow retake here.
A nade out. Look how much damage that does onto Kai, but Bialy's able to find one, and now it's all down to Alex. Great trades coming out, all peeking on each other's contact and swinging out at the same time. Unfortunately, Jay, they hardly do any damage to the economy for the Riders. Larson has got so much money. The rest of them are able to get a buy straight through. And for AVEZ, finally a strong, convincing hold in the post button. That's where they've struggled the most. Movistar Riders have been retaking over and over again.
Money has flourished for AVEZ as a result of it. Back in the bike here, very fast play coming through from the CT camp down towards the mid control, and Kyler almost gets two for his trouble. Getting the first frag on Mopos is already a good start. Larson forced down on low HP, and yes, his AWP has been very capable so far in this matchup. Norrock's going to get traded back by Alexo, grabs that AK, continuing to face forward. This is dangerous, but it could find someone. The flashbang caps him blind. Shock's there to support, and Kyler gets the trade. Shock still doubles back, 3 on 2, and Movistar Riders again in the midst of chaos come out on top.
Banana is just a death trap for both teams. There's so much damage coming through. Look at the amount of bullets there are up towards that top of Banana position. So much spam coming out from AVEZ. And unfortunately for them, they don't even win out in terms of the fights. It's a 2-on-3 disadvantage. Now, at least for them, they only have to deal with Shocks. And he's boosted up to that new box position. If they can trade it out evenly, then this could be a big opportunity for AVEZ.
AWP facing slowly but surely. He's going to check top a new box. Shoulder sees the man, takes him down through the barrel. And now they know that B-side's definitely the play. 2 Incendiary is going to get hard out. Last will be first contact here, but the smokes are already up. Blind firing. You're going to go for it? Oh, no. He won't be able to land it. So retake on for the AWP and the M4. AWP and AK to defend against it here. Nades back and forth to try and respond. And one on towards the coffers position. Doesn't do anything towards AVEZ. They are plotted open for second, if I believe my radar is correct. Molotovs and flashes. Markosh forced down to 52, 44 HP. Still gets that kill on Larson. M4 swings, sees one. Does not see the second. The spray transfer is awkward. Almost got the kill still. But Bialy again stands tall, grabs the AWP, and looks for a 7th for AVEZ on round 15.
And they finally break the bank of the Movistar Riders going into the last round of the half. That molly out to the dark position was fantastic, forcing Marcos out into the open, but he still connects on an AWP kill. And Bialy, 11 HP, is able to clutch it out. Man, he's been such a great clutcher from AVEZ over the course of the last few months. 6 rounds on the board for AVEZ. Now, we've seen Marcos trying to hit this shot of any of the CTs crossing out to that boiler position in the past. And you've got to think that this surely has to be a 7th round for the Poles. Look at the buy that's been recovered for the Riders.
Yeah, it's broken beyond belief. If they manage to win this round, I'll be impressed. CZ here for steal. Actually might catch... Oh, he's pixels away from seeing Bialy. Did he not catch his head? Well, he won't get the chance to now. Swings back in. Kyler is adjusted to take him down. Oh, that could have been everything there for the CT camp, but nah, just a frag being found over on the T side as you would expect. And now Shocks is left alone towards the A side. Defenders are rotating back to support him, but AVEZ, they've got control.
Slowing it down. They're in no hurry at all, AVEZ. And making sure that to work together as a unit. They're still holding on to so much utility. So when this executions comes through, they can just have a wall of smokes, a mass amount of flashes. The Riders, I tell you what, stacking up this A bomb site might actually work out quite nicely.
AK is facing, SMG sees him. Molotov to try force them back. Will that force a rotation though? 4-player stack in. And that's a bad idea. That utility will force them over to the B-bomb site. And here on the last round of the half, Movistar have to go for the retake. They can't afford them. There's no point in saving. Flashes over, smokes down. And that Molotov, as they were coming forward, like, you know, if he would hold out and stall for time, that could have done so much more there for the CT side of the course towards the A-bomb site play. AK does get traded, so they find that much, but a 4-on-3 scenario. AVEZ, firepower and man advantage, there's just no chance.
And big retake to come up for the Riders. No kit and not a lot of utility to work with. They really need to get a move on. AWP up for Marcos, AK for the rest of them on the AVEZ side, and the Riders, it's just too slow, Jay.
Okay, facing Mopos. Shocks getting kills though. Hold the phone. AWP can't let his Shocks tie out to the back line. Shocks going to challenge him, do some damage. They've got to get towards the site right now. Tapping it. Marcos gets that kill. And the T's just maintain control, even though the Riders were within inches of claiming that back. In the end, AVEZ come out on top and make it as close a half as you can get.
Yeah, it is pretty close. I'll tell you what, for AVEZ, they can be happy. That was a great recovery towards the end of that first half. That was 3 rounds in a row. Jay, I just want to ask you, did you hear that like massive lightning storm in my microphone? I just saw like 5 strikes of lightning outside.
I did not know.
Okay.
It could well have been timed very well with the explosion of the bombs.
Can you imagine? Well, it looks as if for our good betting partners over at LootBet that the Riders are still quite the heavy favourites in this opening map up, considering how close the scoreline is. But now they're on the T side. Now there's the opportunity of them to really start to extend their lead because it's only a deficit of 1 for the AVEZ cap.
Pistols are out across the board. USP swinging in for Kyler. They have a flash smoke for Steel, the smoke molly for Mopos as well. The flash defuse for Bialy. He used one flash to get his teammate into the banana control already, seeing at least one player, but not getting any picks for it. May get forced back as MOVISTAR playing a very careful and concise default. Head out towards banana position, passive in mid except for shocks in brackets, but no aggressive face to try and take a fight against AVEZ.
A bit of util to work with for the Riders, and it looks like they're just trying to set themselves up for a bit of a fake out from A. Maybe see if they can get Shocks to get in through the back line of Speedway, but he's going to get spotted out from Marcos. Oh, great damage being done. Shocks is going to try and sell the A player.
Smokes up, Molotov's down, still got Bialy set on the defensive. 4 players held, Shocks pulling distraction, no one's got their eyes turned towards Cross, no one's got their eyes turned towards the root spot. Bialy gets that frag, pops that position, trying to force them to keep their eyes on that angle. Skylar and Alex are still held back here, they are suppressed by smoke, so a 4-on-3 situation, and look at Steel. Taps on Nora, takes him down, Marcos is so low, Kyler getting fragged, Shocks and Larson chiming in, but somehow Marcos, backed up by Bialy, gets away alive. 2-on-2 situation, and USP's picked up to the back line, holding back. Good dink down. Marcos falls. Bialy left alone, and Larson gets 2 frags for 3 kills overall. MOVISTAR Riders with 9 to the pistol.
Oh, I tell you what, that was getting a little bit awkward there for Steel. That trade position, but in the end, the Glocks come out fantastically. Larson's able to get a fantastic 3-piece. And MOVISTAR Riders, well, this is really what we needed to see from them. Continue that momentum that they were able to find in that first half, bring it into the second, bring it over to the T side. And this is now them twice winning both the pistol rounds in this opening first map of the series. AVEZ coming into round 17 with a force buy. They're trying to look and put the pressure on straight away.
Flashes Molotovs in with the standard default positions here on the MOVISTAR Riders side. Flashes over MOVISTAR. Again, careful and considerate with their default positions. Not getting too aggressive and certainly not committing early here.
Running down the clock. AVEZ have pretty much got no idea what's going on at this point. Now, with pretty much everyone passive in their bomb sites, all they need to do is as soon as utility comes down, just try and use those smokes, deny as much time as possible, because the Riders are really running down this clock. No one's actually got the bomb at the moment, so someone's going to have to go back. This has to be an A play. The B players have to fall back, pick up that bomb, a potential split out from long. The Riders need to make their mind up.
Time's ticking. They're wrapping their way around towards this long control. Looking at the bomb's going to make his way up there as well. Split through B side. This is a very last second rotative call, so they're going to go ahead and decide on this one. Folks at the ready. Got to get down towards that Coffin's position, try and siphon off Bialy from Kyler. These pistols could do a lot of damage. They're not careful when he sees 3. He knows what's up. He knows that they let them cross here. The time is still low. AVEZ could still find their way in with a decent chance. Incendiary's back to try and hold off against them. 10 seconds to the clock. Bialy's still held back here. Sees 1, digs him down. They're all distracted. Getting 2, but runs out of ammo. The plant just comes through towards Coffins. A 3-on-3 scenario, though. They've done a ton of damage.
Oh, almost gave me a heart attack. That was so slow into that B bomb side. And AVEZ, well, I tell you what, they're actually thinking about just going for the save here, not going into this 3-on-3 retake. Oh, man. If Bialy just got 1 more kill, if he denied that bomb from going down, that round would have been over. I didn't like that from the Riders. That was just overthinking things. Rather than just brute forcing their way into the side, using their utility to flush out the CTs, they just take so long in the wraparound to be.
The Yeah, that was a bit too close to my liking for Movistar Riders. If Bialy had gotten any more picks back, if he had any more bullets in the magazine, then that could have been a very different story, I think, for the AVEZ side. But as it stands, we have our 10-7. The pistol saved into the eco round for AVEZ. The players that went down will not be buying back, with the exception of Bialy gets a PT50 out. AK's in 4 players. Matt 10 from Moppers to try and mop up the lack of head Kevlar they have on the CT side. Get some money in on that board. Try claim an 11th Movistar Riders here.
They're looking to see if they can just continue building up. The Mac 10 for Mopos potentially out there to build up the economy for his own liking. And not really any extra upgrades off the back of the 2 players that went down from that last round. Bringing 3 players in. And Kai dealt with immediately for the apartments. And for the AVEZ sake, they've just got to think, right, look at this round, see if we can get 1 kill, maybe 2 at most. We just want to try and keep the economy low from Movistar.
Minutes of the clock to do so here. Neil's set, Norok's been seen. AK swings out on him. It looks like they get away with a simple bomb plant in a 5-on-3 scenario. Shame that the Mac 10 not getting any frags, but plant secured, 5-on-3. They have taken a bit of Kevlar out of play as well, so there's going to be lost investment for AVEZ. Again, not too much of a worry at this stage, given the fact that they've got a buy coming through in the next one. And Kyler swings and gets Mopos down, but the Mac 10 loss is not going to be a massive sweat here for Movistar Riders. They'll be happy just to lose that, because they've got better weapons in the next round for AVEZ. And they can buy up to get the AWP in for Larson if they so desire.
I think one thing you mentioned, Jay, a little bit early on when we were kind of talking about the potential of double ops and sort of saying that the Riders haven't gone for it at all. Maybe we'll have to sort of wait to see if that comes onto train. Now, AVEZ are a side that they go for double ops quite a lot. Narot is sort of the in-game leader and second sort of second AWP, sort of hybrid kind of player. And then you've got Marcos, who's obviously the main AWP. So I could probably see them trying to go for double ops as soon as they can. Maybe even going into the next round. Ooh, Kyler's trying to do some damage. Not gonna happen. Do they go double orbs? I really hope they do, because that's where they're at their strongest.
No, Norot's gonna buy an M4. I mean, Kyler can still drop him, actually. No double ops here for AVEZ, so no strength for this CT side. I mean, no chance to get those big green guns out here on the CT camp. And I can understand why, again, it's not really a map that, like, you know, is very proficient with double AWP setup. If it was on train and they got double AWPs out, fair play. Inferno's a bit of a weird one because the main 2 places you can play is in mid and in banana. And outside of that, there's not really many options. So, you know, like, I understand the thinking behind it for AVEZ at the moment. Take that AWP towards that mid position, boost it up, try to get a shot. No kills going the way of them early, though.
Now they have given up immediate control for Shocks. No one here in the apartments for the CT side, giving up some pretty early map presence. A lot of nades down to Banana, but not doing any damage. It's actually the reverse. It's Bialy, the one that's taken a fair bit of damage. And that is very surprising, considering how many nades went down towards Banana.
For Riders, Wilson then back passive, Bialy playing a CT cross contact position and the 4-man stack coming in towards the A side, which is slowly being countered here, but Movistar just leaving Steel out. Fighting against Marcos, wins out that duel. Kyler trades it back though, and I think he realizes there's no more CT set players out here. He didn't catch any more presence. Smoke on Coffins, player up at the boost spot. And now Kyler in position to try and help him out here. Shox trying to take that face, sees where Bialy is. Kyler comes up with a frag, but Shox gets him down. So 3 versus 2, plant to be secured. Bit of a risk there, leaving the CT cross unsmoked. Didn't have any smokes down anyway, but either way, be 2-on-3 for Kai and Narot. And they're going to go for this retake, it seems.
Yeah, they smoked down Coffins instead of CT and just sort of dry-faced their way out, which actually worked out really nicely. And this is over. Narot has to save. I was even surprised they were going for it in a 2-on-3. I guess you could make the point that it's a force buy, so they're not going to be able to get a buy into the next round as it is. But only 1 M4 is going to be brought forward. And I tell you what, Narot's having a pretty tough time. Does pick up the AWP, so at least something that's recovered. And 3 and 15. Again, for in-game leaders, especially in Tier 2 Counter-Strike, you don't expect them to be like, massive fraggers, but he has certainly had a very poor performance in this series. And you've got to think that that was very similar of what we saw from Level Up in that opening best of one. We saw Necro having a struggle. So it seems like it's a bit of a continuation going into the best of 3.
Yeah, especially when you're thinking about Movistar Riders and how they can punish the lack of the lack of punishment. You know, like, you know, it's almost like you have to really suppress them. And you have to suppress their style if you want to try and have success. And if you don't do that, then they're just gonna, you know, take you down pretty easily. And you can see that's case in point with Norot's numbers. AWP back out for Markosh, the only thing saved, of course, by Norot. Boost up here for Kyler, trying to look on towards that banana position, top of the broken wall. Alex is ready to receive it with the AK. Probably going to go down here. Flashes over, seeing the man. Nade on position. Is that going to land? It does.
Yeah.
That's a frag.
Nice and easy coming out, and straight away that AWP, yeah, it's going to get recovered, but you take it down Marcos. The damage even onto Kyler, the follow-up nades, and still can even sneak his way in through Speedway. They've been able to do this so often, is just sneak in map control, because AVEZ have just not got control all over the map.
Still finding Norot next. Deagle Piali held out towards the B site. There's no one on A, and they're going to confirm that in a few seconds' time. The bomb plant can be secured pretty efficiently, pretty easy. This will be 13 to the board of the Movistar Riders. AVEZ getting decked here. This all needs to stay in play for Kyler at this stage. That's the best thing they can get out of this round, because the confidence is brimming for the European T side. Unlucky 13 to their board, but it's more unlucky for AVEZ.
Certainly is, and you know what? I'm getting some big flashbacks in this best of one. It was really that second half where the Riders came into their own and looked their most dominant. AVEZ have not been able to put up a single CT round, not even recovering that AWP. 5 players staying alive. The confidence is booming for the Riders, and the kills are booming too.
Indeed they are. Once again, Larson popping off, but the real highlight and the top fragger is Shox. 20 kills. This is more like what we were expecting to see out from this player. And yeah, he's still a very good opening map, but here in this best of 3, this first map is certainly going to be his game to shine. With Larson backing up appropriately, and it's clearly obvious right now that in this context at least, Movistar have made some key upgrades to their lineup, adding Larson and Shox.
Yeah, they certainly have. In terms of the firepower, that was probably one of the biggest things that I think the Riders struggled with the most, is that they had the tactical depth, but sometimes they often struggled with the firepower, and it's showing that the two newest additions of both Larson and Shox to create this international lineup are the ones to be able to strike the most in terms of the scoreboard potential. Going into round 21, though, it's going to be AVEZ finding the opening pick, and I tell you what, Jay, it has been a very, very long time in this second half since we've seen AVEZ finding an opener.
5-on-4 opportunity, and AVEZ are still tagged up. Markosh in particular on 22 points of health. They've still got Kyler and Bialy held back to the back of the B-bomb site. And they're pretty high of their own right, 100 each. Molotov down to try to force them out. Mopper's going to keep his head ducked out here as Movistar continue the hit to come through. Flashes in. Mopper's seeing Kyler in the back, takes that head. Leaving Bialy out of the smoke stuff. He's going to be completely blinded by the flashbang. Still gets Markosh on rotation. USP in against the M4, and Alex is the man to clean up the frag. Kai and Norot 3-on-2. Pop for the smoke could catch off last if he's not careful. Flashed in, seeing nothing. Neither can the T-side see him, though. The face out from Steel now knows what's up. Incendiary bat nades to respond. AVEZ still not getting the kill that they need, and they do find one. Naro gets 2, actually. 1-on-1 against the likes of Steel, and he clutches it for AVEZ.
Okay. 7 kills, 7 HP, and now an 8th round to not get them back on 7. AVEZ, that's a huge, huge clutch coming out from their in-game leader. And to think, Jay, that he got more kills in that round than the past 21. That's unbelievable. What a play.
Big, big stuff for AVEZ. A big, big round to win, considering that was their opener of the CT side. A chance available now for the Poles. They need to swing in with a conversion round. They need to swing in with a follow-up, most importantly. If they can't do that, then things are going to start looking real awkward, and Movistar will be back in control. Early damage done towards Markosh, trying to swing in towards that second mid position, get the opening kill. It's not going to happen, though, early on.
Nade down to Banana, not doing a massive amount of damage again to the T side. It seems like the utility usage in terms of like grenade damage is certainly more on par for the Riders than it is for the AVEZ side. But AVEZ have been able to strike in round 22. Kyler's able to find the opener kill. The Riders have been able to establish a map presence out to brackets. They still need to recover that bomb, but you've got to think for the Riders, they need to make a decision here. Mopos is lurking up towards the top of Banana just to find an entry, but he's by himself. If he goes down, this is going to make it so much more awkward.
Pause, gun barrel seen. That's a swing from Kyler and a kill being found. 5 on 3 now. AVEZ still have contact and leg shot from Larson allows Shocks to pick up the kill on Marcos. So AWP taken out of play and still 2 players pretty limited here. One of which is on that A bomb site. Narok with the M4 naded out position 40 HP. And they're starting to converge in on the A site. They've got Kyler, I should say, excuse me, moving in from the library position. Molotov on Kai's angle will force him out. They're going to hear those tags. Looney's backed up to the back wall spray here from the Molotov. 15 HP on Norok. No one's checking pit though. He's so low. It's an easy kill for Steel coming in. Kai and Kyler chime in, drop that bomb. Kyler finished off the job on the last. And MOVISTAR Riders crumble to pieces on the execute.
Oh, they're holding on. They are just holding on. That's a massive round from AVEZ. So much damage. There were so many players on that city side in the bomb site that were blind. The pit player in particular of Narod being mollied out, completely blind, and Kyler, another huge play. And you've got to think for AVEZ, when you're down in a position where you're 9-13, you're pretty much just getting simply outclassed in this first map. You need individuals to step up massively, whether it comes down to clutches or it comes down to individuals finding 3K and 4Ks. That's what you need to bring these rounds forward. And they haven't been able to reset the money line just yet, Jay, but they're getting closer and closer to minimalizing the amount of money in the reserve.
AWP's in, M4's out, AK saved on Kyler and Bialy. MOVISTAR Riders set with the AWPs on Larson with the AKs on 2 others. There were the buyback here, of course, limited on 2 sets of utility from Mopos and Shocks. But still in with a decent shout at a round. They need to try and convert this now because the money has been exhausted. AVEZ have been pretty heavily tagged up in the money line of their own right with a couple of rounds lost bonus going against them. MOVISTAR could close out the map right here. All they've got to do is win this round. But Kyler and Bialy have other ideas. Stacking nades in, tagging Mopos, taking out Alex, kicking things off with a swing out from Steel. Crossfire locked, and he goes down all the same.
I think they heard you. I think they heard you, Jay. God, the damage out to Banana doing so much. They find a couple of opening kills. Shocks down to 52 points of health. Mopos on 33. And for the Riders, they've already shown their card. They know that they're going up to this B bomb site. What a round to come out. Kyler, again, this time with the AK. 3 kills. And Larson, well, he's just got to save onto this AWP. He's got no other options. AVEZ have started to come alive. And this is their best round yet. They could pick up all of the AKs.
The best thing about the last few rounds is the fact that AVEZ have brought something new to the table every single round.
Yeah.
Good defensive, crumbling them apart with utility, nade stacks, you name it. And there's still more in the tank left for AVEZ. AWP's out. There's a spray back from Kyler, dropping the last man, dropping the round for MOVISTAR, and the money is broken now. It took them 3 in a row to take away the fat stacks from the C side. They've still got AKs on 3, so there's plenty of firepower. This full eco is going to lead to an 11th for AVEZ, and MOVISTAR Riders might not get away so easy with map 1.
I tell you what, yeah, you're right. They're putting up a hell of a contest quite late in this opening map for AVEZ. MOVISTAR Riders, their lead is now starting to crumble away. It's only 3 rounds at the moment. Something quick, maybe. See if they can get a change up on this T side. Try and see if they can catch the CTs off guard. This looks to be an apps pop with a flashbang out for Steel.
AWP ready. Smoke down.
That makes it awkward.
Here we go. Flashes in with the Tech Knights making their way out. Norok caught off. AK spray from Kai does get them both, though, so control is maintained by AVEZ. 1 D comes back from Larson, though. M4 seeing Shocks. He goes down next up, facing in from the pit position. Got back up on site. Marcos there with the AWP pick. And Larson, too many angles, all peeking at the same time. They lose Kai, but they grab the AK for it, so 3 stay in play once again. And it's 11 to the board of AVEZ. MOVISTAR with a reinvestment. And again, they are running out of the buffer here.
Take attack. Where's the pause? Like, come on, guys. Riders, you've just been absolutely slapped back into reality these last few rounds. The lead, it's still in the favor of yours, but you've got to think AVEZ are on a really big hype train at the moment. They're feeling really confident. They're looking very sharp. Just take a bit of a breather. They've got the AWP out back on for Larson, but even to start the round off, it's a lot more passive for the Riders, not taking that banana control instantly.
A lack of head Kevlar for Larson. The M4. Kai can find an easy frag on the AWP player. Of course, AK's out across the rest of the city board with the AWP, so one-shot headshots are not the worst of MOVISTAR Riders' concerns. Markosh instead. AWP shot shuts out Larson. No flash to get him around that corner, and the utility coordination from MOVISTAR Riders seems to have completely disappeared here.
That's just desperate. That's just desperation coming out from Larson. Like you said, no support, no flashbang, no smoke, no nothing. A dry pig into the AWP of Marcos. CTs are going to be able to have an advantage every single time in that fight. Now, this is actually very interesting that Mopos has been able to actually walk up quite aggressively through Banana without that AWP sing, but Marcos is going to follow up with a secondary.
And Kyler swings on 2. Shox is left alone, 1 on 5. Tap burst, spray through to Norop. Bomb is in CT control though. 30 seconds to rotate back through mid. Does tap on Kai's head, but again, so little time to rotate back through mid. Get towards Banana, pick up the bomb plot and get it planted on the site. With CT's on the way, he's got to isolate his next 2 picks, get them quick as anything. And it's best to save the AWP from here. MOVISTAR Riders, what is going on, guys? Like, the tactical's got to come through in the next round. They've got to try and like break that pace and break the stalemate here. It has been a slump in the last few rounds, and it seems to have come out of pretty much nowhere for MOVISTAR, you know? Like, they were looking so good in this half. Suddenly, AVEZ win 1 CT round, and then they managed to get, like, what, 4 on the trot? 5 on the trot?
It's getting ridiculous now. Yeah, I think it's got to be 5 rounds. Yeah, you're right. It really has come out of nowhere, right? Like, we saw the Riders, they won Pistol. They were able to get some great momentum. We didn't see any rounds going the way of AVEZ in the second half. They win 1, and it's like they've just put the hurt on from there. MOVISTAR Riders, I cannot believe we're potentially in a position where we'll be tied up 13 each. And even for Shox, he's going to have just no money going into the following round.
The economy has been destroyed, and again, the nade stacks coming through from AVEZ placed perfectly to shut down Steel. Kai credited with the kill, flashes in from Bialy, seeing nothing ahead of that smoke, refaces to get Alex down, swinging on 2 players, gets the trade frag, but Markosh there with the AWP pick, gets more pods, falls back, Kyler's there on the stairs, and Shox left alone. Oh, utility out at the wrong possible moment. 13 all, we're evened out. And the buy's actually not too bad for MOVISTAR, actually. I mean, Shox can still go ahead and afford something, but you'll need to use that something to get them back in. Now the tactical pause will come through with the rifles coming in. They need a round here, MOVISTAR. If they lose the next one, I mean, whoever loses the next one, they're probably going to concede and map point to the other team.
Well, see, I don't know, because you look at the money line for AVEZ and you think, right, they're going to be able to get a buy back into the next, no problem whatsoever. But then you've also got sort of that sense of like, oh, momentum and things like that. Whereas for the Riders, having a look at their reserve, if they buy down to pretty much almost no reserve money, they're going to have nothing. Like, if they get a bomb plant, it's going to help them. But the Riders is definitely in a worse position going into round 27. Thinking sort of more into the future than in the present. And this is an opportunity for Still to just kind of talk to the teammates, say, guys, right, we have looked better in this first map. Yeah, look, we've choked a little bit. We've let them come back to tie us up, but we have been the more dominant team. We just need to play our own game. We need to find an opening pick, because where has that gone? Larson was finding opening picks pretty much every single round, and if it wasn't him, it was someone else. AVEZ were almost never finding any opening picks to start off this secondary half, and now it's all changed.
Molotov's in. AWP's out. Alex. Larson set nades on Alex. low HP. Shox gets the opening duel. Kai is there for a trade. 4-on-4 situation. Is that a boost up going towards the... Yeah, okay. Larsson's looking on for a duel towards the top of the broken wall, but nothing is being seen. Again, the CTs have gone past off the back of the opening engagements.
It's just going to be an execution to be. It all really comes down to what utility can the CTs throw at them. They don't have a lot on these defenders. Oh, that incendiary is timed very, very well. Now, there should be a quick rotation coming out from Marcos with the AWP out from long to the B bomb side, but it needs to come down to the defensive hold.
Smokes on Bialy. Set back alongside Kyle, and Molotov to his position, going to force him back behind the smoke gap in it. He's seen by Mopos. Alex takes him down, and Larsson gets Kyler. Finally, a good hit for Movistar Riders off the back of the tactical. Orp flicks not missing, and now Marcos and Kai have got to save their weapons. AK, AWP held into the next round for AVEZ, and Movistar just barely hold on to the lead.
That's a great round. That's a very, very strong round. They trade out 1-for-1 in the apartments. They just set themselves up for something simple. Not overthinking anything. They go for the set piece into the B bomb site. They trade out really nicely. They take the two defenders down instantly. They take back the lead 14-13, and they'll be so pleased because their money line is not fantastic. The fact that 4 players are going to stay alive is fantastic. Ooh, hang on. Now 3.
Not much more damage being done, however, to the T side. They can still build the economy state and work off with these rifles. 2 more to buy down. Still going to contest against the buy for AVEZ up to the rest of the rounds that they have here. Enough money in the tank. Orps in for Marcos once again. I mean, you talk about the double setup from AVEZ. We have not seen very much of it at all, so it's working for them. Marcos is happy to keep buying the AWP, getting the picks as appropriate. Currently placed out to the passive A site. I think he went for a mid pick initially, but that's about it. Nothing else being seen.
2 more rounds is all that the Riders will need, where for AVEZ, it's going to be 3 to get to 16. Still not running the double AWPs. You've got to think that at some moment they might have a little bit of a change of thought and just see if they can run it. Very slow. There's hardly any contact being made, and we're getting closer to a minute on the clock. And jump spotting coming out from Kyler towards the top of Banana. He'll get a bit of information and try and fall back and put that smoke down.
Flash in, gets him back out of dodge. He puts the smoke down instead towards the main cross. Nades onto his position. Molotov's back, he stalls for time. He is the lone defender of the B site, which could work well for Movistar if they decide to go towards B, but they're going to run into the stack on A with his bomb's position. Smokes up from Kai, looking into Boy. Lurcy, Shox wins that fight. Kicks things off on the right foot. Smokes Molotov down there, try bait in a rotation though. No more information being seen. They forced them out. Flashing from Kai sees Mopods, but nothing else. 2 players still left towards A. The third man still going through Speedway, but he makes his way back out. 5-on-3 situation. And the CTs have 3 to defend the side. All trying to scope in. They see one towards that corner. Norot still gets away with the kill. Larson and Alex turning it back to a 2-on-2. Bomb can get picked up, planted to the back wall. And for AVEZ, the retake is on.
2-on-2. AVEZ on for the retake scenario. Now, they don't have any utility to work with unless they can somehow pick some up. Larson and Alex. And they've got a player in towards that mini pit position. Kyler to open up, and it's all down to Alex. 1-on-2. Now making a 1 versus 1. And Kyler knows exactly where it is. Oh, he pulls the nade out at the wrong time. And Alex, oh, he tapped away. A massive duel to come out. And it looked so unfortunate for the timing. But Alex still wins it out. A massive 1-on-2. And that's 15 rounds up for the Riders.
Ducked below the mini pit wall, popped his head back up and flicked directly to the dome. What a shot from Alex to keep Movistar in that round. A 4K for him as well. And now he's rivaling Larson and Shox. 15-13, map point at last for Movistar Riders, and they take another tactical pause here on T side. AVEZ They had everything for them when we hit 13-13, but once again, controllers tip back the favor of the opposition, and they're barely holding on to these rounds. You can feel like there just must be a couple of small adjustments to make, a couple of small things to fix, and then suddenly they're back in control.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those things that's so difficult to implement mid-game. It's normally something out, after the game's finished to sort of say, oh, let's try and work on this for next time, or if only we did that. So many what-ifs when it comes down to those pressured rounds. The 2-on-2 post-plant, the fact that Alex goes up absolutely massive to clutch out. One more round for the Riders, and it looks like, Jay, that they are back in control. We were a little bit worried about them, but that is a great opening once again, and it's down to Shox.
Does get naded out, but that's a great pick to grab the AWP. Get rid of it as well, so AVEZ do not have to work with it for the rest of this round here. If Movistar have their way, this round will be the rest of the matchup here on Inferno. Towards brackets control past that smoke here in the mid position. Two players set to defend it. Noro and Kai. One out in the open on site. One player backed up to the pit, broken wall. Molotov's in. Alex right up to the side. He's going to be hurt out. Noro gets that one fight. Kyler follows suit. Alex caught jumping. 3-on-2 situation. The Glock's tapping away. The AWP desperate to get a kill. Bomb's been dropped in the open. There's a backstab coming through from mid as well. And Larson just can't find these players. Does he see Kyler? He does now. Turns on for the second, but no. Couldn't land that shot with Noro and Bialy cleaning house. AVEZ stall the hit and claim the round.
Look at the money, Jay. They've got no money. Even if they got a bomb plant, it would have helped them. Oh, the buy from Riders going into round 30 is not going to be great at all. A Galil up for Mopoz. Shox, is he going to be on a Galil as well? He might just be on a pistol. Oh my goodness. To think that this is the buy they're bringing to the table going into round 30.
Oh my word. Movistar had so much riding on that rifle round going well. They had to recover the economy just to get to this position. And the fact that they had so few rounds to do it in, the fact they invested over and over again. 2 rounds in a row. And 2 AKs highlight the whole buy for Movistar Riders. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. Just imagine that AVEZ, they can feel overtime looming over them. Movistar Riders just currently placed out passive in the mid control, not going for banana control at all. They need a good hit and a good round.
They just need a 5 to open up. They need some sort of opening kill. Shox was able to do that in the last round, taking down the AWP of Marcos. And this time around, though, AVEZ have gone back to very, very deep into the sites. No overextensions towards the top of Banana or the apartments. They have been able to bait out a fair bit of utility from the CT side, and even for Marcos, he's ready for some sort of split into B through Speedway.
Oh, this is going to be massively catch them off. Larson, got to check this corner, takes that shot. Marcos gets out of dodge as well, refacing for a second kill. The P250's out, he's running away from the action. Refaces, gets steal. M4 of Bialy's 3, gets shots on Speedway. 2 more out of main, and that's all 5 alive for AVEZ. We're going to overtime on the first map of our first best of 3.
And we thought this series could be interesting, Jay. We always know that it's going to be interesting if we're going to OT. Movistar Riders, just look at the kill difference. You've got AVEZ where 4 players are less than 20, and Kyler's on 33, where for the Movistar Riders side, you've got 3 players that have got to 20 kills or more. Wow. Kyler has really been putting in the hard yards.
And dragging his team by the hair into this overtime. The final chance at claiming this map away from the Riders. It is, of course, the map pick of the Movistar Riders. So for AVEZ to take this victory now, it could be their way into a 2-0. It all comes up to this overtime, though. We've seen plenty of them over the course of Malta Vibes. But one more doesn't hurt, right?
Well, of course not. We've still got many weeks to go, and Kai, well, he doesn't have much time because he's instantly dealt with. The aggression coming out, Marcos is so low, this should be an instant trade. And so far, so good from the T side. Naro's able to bring it back at least somewhat, but the T's are in such a great position now.
The Movistar 4-on-3. Mopoz
Oh,
AK set to look around the corner. Steel stuck his way in from Speedway. Bialy's going down. Alex takes out the opposition. It's all left to Nora in a 1-on-4. Steel finishes off the job. They're on the light position, and MOVISTAR defend the lead at least, but in this overtime context, they really needed a round like that to come through previously so they could have secured the matchup. But at least it's a good start to their overtime campaign.
That's a confidence booster. You know, they would have been down in the dumps after losing that round in round 30. To go straight out in a very good T-side to start off the overtime campaign is always good to have. 16 to 15. Both teams will be looking at that 19. 18-18, and we'll go to a secondary. A flash up. Look how quick this is. We haven't seen this kind of pressure towards top of Banana.
The nades, unfortunately, not landing deep enough to catch them off and take them down. They'll do a little bit of damage. Not a massive amount. M4 set. Crossed out towards the A site. Nades back and forth between both sides. Kai's going to take a lot of that damage early on here for the CTs. MOVISTAR get away with a HP advantage. Not quite an opening kill, but Marcos could be there to offer that up. Seeing the gun barrel of Steel, trying to bait in a shot. Molotov's in. Doesn't quite force him out of quad. He gets the opening kill on Larson instead.
And I think that the information just didn't come through because Steel was trying to bait out the shot and they had no idea that the AWP was there because nothing was fired. A great opening pick on the back of Marcos. And now, because of that pick over towards the A bomb side, that's now forced MOVISTAR Riders to try and get over to B. But the rotations are coming in. They're going to have a triple man stack.
Out of the bomb site, flashes and smokes on. Shocks and Moppos make their way up. M4 Bialy holds on to control, but only from a moment pop up here from Kyler. Top of the coffins gets dealt with by Moppos. 3-on-2. AVEZ with the man advantage, but Steel's waiting for rotations, waiting for Kyler to pop out as well. Sees that player, shoots him in the back of the head, and controls CT from an active position. AWP rotating out. Steel's not looking the right way, so once again, it all rests on Moppos. 4K clutch for this man. And 2 players to find for it. Incendiary back over to the dark position. No further flames to put out. They'll smoke out the bomb though. Norwalk's going to stick it. Mopper's going to spray. Mopper's going to take him down. Doing damage. Gets that kill. AWP shot doesn't connect either. And Marcos back on it. Mopper's there to swing out. Look at the taps. Oh, the kill. He's doing damage. He gets him in the end. Just holds on to it. 4 kills to his name. Mopos becomes the clutcher of MOVISTAR.
How many clutches are we going to see in this matchup? But we're only in the first map of this series. And we just see the CTs just trying to dive onto that bomb. No on the first one. The spam coming through of Mopos. Now, if Marcos maybe had an AK, then he may have just tried to go for the fight. But considering he had the AWP, he goes, right, I'm going to try and stick the bomb too. Massive, massive clutch. And for the Riders, 2 rounds on the T side. 2 very big ones indeed.
Up in for Larson. They're going to try to open things up again for the MOVISTAR Riders camp. To set here to the banana position. 2 players cross-fired. And a very early execute coming in from MOVISTAR. Mopos and Alex first players out. Kyler lands that first kill with the M4. Held back towards Ultra. 1 player snuck his way in from CT. 3 more coming out of the banana presence as Shocks gets Kyler. Bialy with a nade on. That might do some damage, but he falls in the end. 2K for Shocks. Bomb plant. 4v3 scenario. AVEZ have to go for the retake here.
It's another retake again. The Riders have done so much work in getting these post plants through. A man advantage up for the Ts. And for AVEZ, I mean, how do you even come back from this? You need some sort of cheeky kill, some sort of advantage. It's going to be so difficult. They're even wasting so much time to get this utility up.
Smoke on, flashes set to try and get the entry. It's going to have to be quick on the mark, though. Marcos does get a blind shot through smoke on Steel. That's an opener. AK set here. Time is so low. Spray back at the back of the box. Shots gets 1. Alex gets another. Nora holds on to 1 pick, but no more than that. MOVISTAR Riders, a flawless half here in this first of overtime. 18-15. Map point goes their way again.
And any team, no matter what map you're on, if you go 3-0 up in OT, it is so difficult to lose it because you just put so much pressure on your opposition. AVEZ could not make a single mistake going into the second half of the first OT. Movistar Riders, they've got 3 chances and only need 1 single round.
(15 to 18). Movistar had a good CT half. AVEZ had an alright T side. But it was Movistar that pipped them to the post when it came to the half advantage. So this is their way in. This is their final chance. AVEZ, very fast players coming out towards the default positions into brackets. Kai going to break his way out towards long. Sees one player at Arch, Steel peeks in from Boiler, gets that 1 frag. Shocks follow suit in the back lines, gets Markle and Kyler back. 3 versus 2 as Kai does find Larson for 1 frag. It's him and Bialy in a clutch or kick situation for AVEZ as Kai goes down. All that's left is Bialy. 1 on 3. Bomb is on his back, could secure a plant, but everything after that is going to be difficult.
If you want anyone in a clutch scenario, it's got to be Bialy, but this is going to be one hell of a task. 1 on 3 to come out. And he's kind of stuck in between the side. There's no real way that he can overextend. Looks to try and take the fight onto the long player. That's Mopos going down. And 2 players out from short. Bialy's reading this, but he's not going to be able to clutch it out. Movistar Riders going to take map number 1. It's 19-15. Just get on the bomb. Just defuse it. Don't BM. Just get this over and done with. You are kidding me.
A Viking funeral for Bialy in that one. But 19-15 for Movistar Riders. They're going to claim the first map of the best of 3. AVEZ fought valiantly for that one, but I can't help but feel like it was moseying out to Kyler really switching on and being the main damage dealer alongside some issues with Movistar Riders at the end of that, for second half. They felt like they had it won at 13-7, but then things came back and somehow we managed to find our way to overtime,
Look, it certainly was a choke to OT. There's no doubt about it. Movistar Riders had a really big lead. They should have been able to just sweep away, probably not even give double digits up for the AVEZ side. But look, AVEZ found a bit of momentum that they didn't really find at any other moment in that matchup. They were able to bring it to OT, but in the end, the Riders just come out stronger. And I'll tell you what, it was a very close series in that first map. AVEZ can maybe be a bit disappointed they weren't able to take it and take their opponent's map pick, but for Movistar Riders, at least they can go, right, the pressure's off, at least for now. We've still got pressure, but we've taken the first map of the series.
The second map of the series is not their pick. It is AVEZ's decision to go to Vertigo. So we'll go to a short break and see whether they can make dominance happen over on their map in this series. Do not go anywhere. We're coming back after this to see who's going to make it through to the playoffs after this.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back to Malta Vibes. Welcome back to our winners match between Movistar Riders and AVEZ. If you're just joining us, you missed out on a very close Inferno map where Movistar Riders just pipped AVEZ to a 19-15 overtime win. Moving on to Vertigo, might be a bit more of a different story though, because it was the AVEZ map pick. Therefore, in theory, we should be seeing an AVEZ win. But, you know, the main issues that we were talking about for AVEZ when it came into this matchup was, are they going to be able to shut down Larson and Shocks? And they kind of found the formula towards the end of it, but they were a real thorn in their side. Another great performance from those two players. And for Movistar Riders, it looks like there's another good chance for them here on Vertigo.
Yeah, look, it certainly is, right? You've got to think that they had the players to step up. Yeah, look, it certainly was a close first map of the series, but all in all, they probably should have been able to close it out, maybe like a 16-9, 16-10. It didn't quite go that way, but for the ground basis of that first map, they looked pretty impressive. They had the fundamentals down. They were finding some really great picks. They were playing with a lot of confidence. The nade damage was fantastic. It only really seemed that it was maybe the last, maybe 5 or 6 rounds of the game where AVEZ really started to take control in terms of the utility damage down towards Banana and over towards the B side of the map. But for the most part, utility damage was very strong for the Riders, and I can see that continuing into a map like Vertigo.
Absolutely, and Vertigo has been one of those maps that for the AVEZ side has certainly been a common little, a common little pick for them in a lot of different cases, especially in like the Malta Vibes Cups for obvious reasons. You know, played it in all of the map cups that they played so far, including of course this one in number 7, and also been like a bit of a sleeper pick to get them through to the MDL promotions. You know, they've already had like a number of great successes, and it's been a map that they've been able to pocket and get quite far with it on. So there's always that element of like, listen, they've got a confident tactical basis for this map, which I don't think Movistar Riders at this stage, having just picked up these players, are going to be able to utilize. And despite some of the massive performances being thrown up by Movistar Riders, they weren't quite able to hit the same levels of highs as AVEZ did manage in that first map. You can see the stats on screen for you. Kyler lost the map, still out-fragged Shocks.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Kyler had such a big game. He was clutching. He was having multi-kill rounds. He was very consistent over the course of the entire first map. That needs to continue. Kyler needs to be able to have a strong showing again going into a map like Vertigo. And you've got to think, realistically, yeah, you can kind of pull some stat lines and what have you, but this shouldn't be a 2-0 for the Riders. You go into a map like Vertigo with a couple of new players. It's certainly a map that you're probably not going to practice a lot. You're probably looking at the basic fundamentals like a Mirage, your Dust 2, your Inferno, maybe like an Overpass. But for the majority of things, Nuke and Vertigo are going to be 2 maps that you're not going to be heavily focused on, because it does take a lot of time to get that tactical depth, to get that sort of coordination between the players. One element, though, that I did see in the last map that can potentially follow forward is how strong Movistar Riders were on the retake on the city side. Vertigo is one of those maps, Jay, where it is retake city.
Indeed it is. This T-side basis, they may have to rest upon that skill and rest upon that coordination, but we'll see whether or not they can do so as the knife round is going live to get their choice of side in. Of course, a reminder to you all that Malta Vibes are brought to Gaming Malta, a home and gaming excellence. And I think Vertigo could well be AVEZ's territory. And they're probably going to have this one under their control. For me, Movistar mostly should be looking towards Train if they want to have a chance in this series.
I don't think that this map is going to be as close as the first one is. I think it's going to be a little bit more one-sided. I still expect that the Riders are going to be able to put up a pretty good fight, because you've got to remember, I mean, this is going back quite some time, but we had the opportunity quite early in the year, Jay, of casting the Riders on Vertigo, maybe about March or April time, and they look decent, so you're going to say that they've got at least a basic understanding and that they can put up a decent fight, but to be able to win this map against a team like AVEZ is going to be a very difficult task.
So, the pistol round set here with Movistar on the CT start. AVEZ going to the aggressive stances. Going to see the buy-ups come through, seeing utility for Nora and Biala. Again, the same single flash smoke and HE setup for the T-side we saw coming out from AVEZ. And the kit over on steel with the HE smoke for Mopos. Probably to buy a bit more, let's assume. No, just going to go for the smoke and a second kit, actually.
Okay, what is this?
That's interesting.
That's got to be miscommunication. There's no way that anyone is going to buy 2 kits on a pistol round. But look, let's see what happens. A boost coming up for Alex. Oh, this could be an opportunity to find an opener.
And indeed he does. Quick flick towards Norot, takes the head off the shoulders of the first man. Larson held back behind the sandbags here. 1 point of health from the nade stacks landed, and that's where the nades were going. He stayed alive in his position. They might think it's completely cleared. In reality, he's waiting and baiting for a real lucky chance. He could catch off so many players if he times this well enough. It all is down to timing. He's keeping his head low, and Utility is coming out as they play out towards the alley position. Alex gonna be there with Mopos to crossfire. Take out Markosh. Larson peeks him in the back, gets Bialy, and now a 3 versus 2 actually as Kyler finds the pick back of his own. Larson being challenged now. Kai now knows what's up. Bomb gonna make his way back to the B bomb site though, because Kyler's made his way up from the mid position and now can secure and siphon off the rotation.
Kyler's got to find more picks, though. He needs to be able to bring it into a 2 versus 2. Larson's incredibly low. Great shot coming out to steal. And now the round has turned around. They've brought that bomb over to the B bomb site. They're able to get it planted. Kyler can't follow up, and it's all down to Kai.
Larson on 1 HP, still getting 2 massive picks, but Kai should be able to train him back pretty effectively here. Indeed, a stray bullet landing towards the body is all he needs. Sees the second player and gets the headshot as well. A big clutch from Kai, a big pistol for AVEZ, starting things off on the T side.
Okay, that was looking fantastic for the Riders. We saw the boost up over the metal railing to find the opening kill from Alex. The nade stack came out to the sandbags position. 1 HP Larson still stayed alive. And you'd have to think for the Riders, they had so many advantages, but they brought so many rotations out to the A bomb side that B was pretty much undefended. It allowed Kyler to sneak into CT, wrap around, bring that bomb back over. And AVEZ, what a perfect recovery in the pistol.
Kai there, continuing his frag potential, gets Larson down. It's Mopos there with a deagle. Turning back around with a simple headshot, I believe, through the scaffolding tarps there. Either way, shocks. Deagle back on Kyler, cutting him off from connector. Gonna make sure he can't make his way towards that B-bomb site. So Mopos falls back onto the base site itself. The aggression should get forced out position here from the CT cam, still with those deagles in play on the Eco round. Flashes over, players blind. Alex gonna wait, however, see Norot. Damage done, no kills though. Ali cleaned up, 1 player still left there. Could be a bit of a, you know, a surprising factor if he pops out and gets the kills at the right time, but he gets cleaned up by Kylo all the same, so. Shocks left alone, 1 on 4. Plant secured, looking for a 2-0 for Alex.
Ooh, nice and easy coming out from the AVEZ side. A force bite, not doing a massive amount. So they're going to be able to get a slight upgrades going forward into round 3. And these MAC-10s though, Jay, that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye out for a round like this, because especially with, well, there shouldn't be any kind of a Kevlar, you can think that these MAC-10s are going to have an absolute field day.
Indeed they are, especially if they push straight in towards a stack like the A play coming in from the CT camp. Nades up the start, that's placed pretty well. That's a lot of damage. Mopos gets away with the kill though. Markosh falling, that's one of the MAC-10s taken out. The second one of Kai is facing it, they try to take the player down. Steal is so low from here. If he gets away with the pick, that's just unreasonable. The boost up's gonna try and find something, but no dice.
So far, early kill going the way of the Movistar Riders. A couple of players are quite low. And Bialy and Kai is going to work together. This should be pretty simple up to the A bomb site. See if that MAC-10 can find any more. These Deagles are actually finding some pretty nice picks at the moment.
Thinking a 3rd player down, that'd be fantastic. But Alex now knows that mid control is being sustained by Bialy, rotating back around here. They're going to go for a B rotation. Well, don't need to now. He gets that frag, ensures that the 3K stays his way, the rifle stay in play for AVEZ, and the rebuy can come back from Movistar Riders, so not much lost in that eco. Again, mostly focused here on the AWP with the M4s and the utility sets for the CT defense.
AVEZ looking to try and see if they could put the pressure on early. Now we've seen the AWP in the hands of Larson as often as they can on that CT side. He's going to be able to get his wishes granted going into round 4. AVEZ aren't really putting too much contention over to this ramp position. Only a couple of players here just to use a bit of counter utility, but it's really mid that is being looked at the most.
3 players round the corner. Pulls that mid control. A smoke down from Steel is going to still contest a bit of a gap in that smoke. Nade up to the entrance position, but they're going to go right past that. It's Shocks there with one frag towards the lower portion of the stairs. Swing out from Alex, sees two in the mid position, gets them both as well. Trade from Kyler, gets Steel on the side, but Norod's low. Alex is also low of his own right. The AK of Kyler's got to do most of the damage. The plant can be secured, and he gets naded back to 44. So this retake from MOVISTAR Riders could come in thick and fast and easy for them, especially with the backstab being set. Kyler gets that headshot. That's the opportunity now.
We've seen Kyler come up big before, especially in that last map. A 2-on-2, both players incredibly low on this T side, and now it's all down to Kyler. This is his time to shine. 1-on-2, the wide swing coming out, now making a 1-on-1, and he's just wasting time. Larson does not have a kid, trying to work on the edge of this smoke. What an angle to come out from Kyler. The headshot not coming through. Oh, 3 HP. He just survives the fall down, but the bomb's being stuck. There it is from Kyler. Another massive round, 4K to name. And when we spoke about Kai, maybe we should be speaking about Kyler.
They have been playing pretty well on the same pace. A big clutch coming through. You would have thought enough damage there, and if he fell off far enough, that would have... I don't know if he can still take full damage from that stairs position, but he did so much just to maintain control.
Wow.
And got within inches of death for it. MOVISTAR unable to get away with their first. It's AVEZ 4-0 up, back to the pistols and a half by Eco. And rifles on max loss bonus is when MOVISTAR Riders are going to focus on.
Big round up for the Polish camp to keep the streak alive. And MOVISTAR, not really too many upgrades to come through. In saying that though, when we've seen these upgraded pistols come out in the past, we have certainly seen them be able to do some damage, 2 or 3 kills. A bit of a heavy stack up to this A-bomb side, but you've got to think HE stack maybe if it gets timed right. Oh, a little bit of damage.
Eagles in, flashes evaded from Mopos. Dodge as Alex gets boosted up. That's a good kill from the Eagle, the first player. Bialy and Kai trying right back in though. Larson not going to last too much longer here. Shocks and Steel. Left for the Eagle and the CZ. Probably best to save their Kevlar at this stage. I mean, they can throw their bodies at this site, go for a chance retake, but you know, the most likely thing is that they just get picked apart. For a 5-0 start for AVEZ, this is how the T side should go.
Looking simply good. And you've got to think for AVEZ, it's maybe not something that's going to be playing on their mind massively, but especially if they continue a streak like this, they can sort of, you know, be thinking, guys, if only we had won out that first map, then we could have just got a pretty simple 2-0 now going into Vertigo. And MOVISTAR Riders, this could be a good moment to take a bit of a tactical. You know, get the AWP out into Larson. We haven't seen the double AWPs come out before. It's certainly doable on a map like Vertigo. You get like an AWP out towards ramp and an AWP very passive on the B-bomb site for a single defender. But there needs to be a bit of a change up.
The rifles will be that perfect chance to change up, obviously. Coming through on the max loss bonus here, the AWP and the M4s in. That's 2 full sets of utility as well on these 2 full rifle rounds, so... got lots of work with for MOVISTAR. They just have to make good work on it and, you know, capitalize on the opportunities they can force themselves. AWP's out for the T side, nades down on Alex's position in particular to gain the 30 HP. Larson with AWP face up, AK sees him, Larson gets the kill, gets away hurt, but gets away alive.
And it doesn't matter how much damage he takes, as long as he finds that opening pick and holds on to that advantage, he's done his job. A great opening pick coming out from Larson. Bialy's alone out from mid. Now, if he swings out, he's going to have to deal with 2 players. Opts against it and tries to back up his teammate instead. And I'll tell you what, this is probably the first time in Vertigo so far we've seen the Riders been able to hold on to such a big advantage.
Molotov's down, Mopos smoked off by his teammate. They now know there's a player at sandbags. How will he act upon his position? Are they going to wait for the smoke to clear and put another Molotov on that area? Nope. Molotov down towards Ali instead, and he's still playing on a very up advanced position. Did Bialy see him? I think Marcos did. Bialy gets taken back. 3-2 standing left for the T-side camp. And now Movistar Riders making light work of the AVEZ offense. I say that. And Norok comes back with 2, not quite 3. Alex dropping that bomb. And Marcos, all that remains in a 1-on-3 scenario. AWP held back towards ramp. Trying to face him in the AWP of the CT side, but there should be no chance left for him in this round.
Not really too much of an option here for Marcos. Ooh, tries to get the headshot onto the player towards back of orange, but it's not going to happen. A first round on the board for the Riders, and I tell you what, they actually did like a really nice bait and switch setup there from Mopos. As soon as that molly goes down, still throws the smoke onto it, and he just buys some time, works around it, is able to get a really nice angle on top of the railing, a little bit further back. And that sandbags position can often just be such a weird one on the city side of Vertigo, because it can either go really well, or it doesn't.
That slow default picked apart piece by piece. AVEZ, AWPs in AKs, rebought down for this T-side line. The damage has been done to the economy though, so this could be a way back in for a reset if Movistar Riders can get a confident round out of this. Look at Mopos hunting for that confidence as well. Straight down to the ramp entrance. Seeing some utility come through. Ready for Norok. First face goes the way of the AK. Big frag to start for the T-side.
And we saw Narok struggling massively in terms of the fragging department in that first map. He's come out to Vertigo, just finding so many entries, finding a lot of impact. The nade damage. Kai's on 33, Nara on 1 HP. Oh, if Movistar Riders would have known this. This is Gamble Stack, eh?
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of appropriate because AVEZ are leaning towards that A site. The only player that's not is Bialy at the moment. Bloody coming in to rotate with them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Here they come. Damage being done. Dink through the wall. Alex will hear that. Got Marcos close here. These smokes down. The bomb being dropped off. Noros on 1 HP right around his corner. And they both fall to land the last one. And Alex makes it 3 kills. And Bialy, last player left, set to fall to one of these CT faces. Will catch 1, potentially 2 if he isolates Alex. But backstab's incoming. AK out in the open. Bomb on his back. Has found Steel, but not going to get the kill shot on him.
That's frustrating. It's really frustrating for AVEZ because one thing that really hurts the most is when you just run into gamble stacks, and that was even a gut feeling that we didn't see anyone press the B stairs and sort of get the information. They just had the gut feeling that, hang on a minute, they haven't really put too much pressure at B. They've constantly gone A. We've heard a bit of spam. Let's just gamble stack it. And the fact that even rather than playing passive, they actually over-aggress. They try and take the fights onto the ramp players, and it looked like AVEZ are ready for it, but I don't know if they were ready for that many players.
Nades out, quickly mop up here for the rifles. Mopos Steel. Getting frags left, right, and center. Norok getting Mopos. Alex comes up with 2 more of his own. Nice and easy there against the T-side forces as the eco gets cleaned out. And Movistar Riders have a buyback to contest against. The 3 rounds, however, being scored here by the CT cams, so the confidence from AVEZ is starting to slip a little.
A little bit, certainly. They need to be able to just put an answer on. And that was one thing that they probably struggled with the most coming out into that last map was getting momentum. But what is not a struggle is using these fantastic codes from our case partners of hellcase.com, MaltaV and MaltaV15. You can check out all the information in the Twitch chat below the Twitch channel. A bit of money in your pocket and a 15% refill bonus only at Hellcase. Movistar Riders, though, they're looking to continue this streak. It's already been 3 rounds in a row. Why not a 4th?
Still on Marcos trailing back. Larson there, seeing the foot of the one player, unable to get the kill on him. The nade back might secure it. No, M4 of Shocks gets that kill. Kai can respond to a 3-on-3 with the AK headshot, just barely holding the trades. Free face against the AWP might be a bad idea, but they're going to start leaning towards this B play, it seems. So they decide to rotate back out with that bomb, making its way towards the A in the bridge position. Got Mopos so close, though. He's ready for the head-to-head contact.
They really don't like B, do they, AVEZ? There are so many rounds that they've trying to take maybe some early map control out through B stairs or ramp, but end up going to this A bomb site. And Mopos, the timing on this is so awkward. He wasn't sure whether to over-aggress or to continue falling back. He goes back, he's just caught out in the open, and that advantage, or the 3-on-3 they had, that's now gone.
On Alex to recover it, gets a headshot as the smoke blooms. AWP coming in from the back line. Alex is still out in the open, but a plant can be secured. Confident here. AWP shots not connecting. Cross It's locked on both ends. Larson tapping up with the AWP. Alex is falling back to much more passive position. The boost up from Kai could catch info on Larson if he's not careful with this. AWP in top of the orange boxes, scoped out, looking up, can't see his man. They drop out, the smoke clears, Kai goes falling, Marcos trades back to a one-on-one. Boys 3K, spray goes forward, AWP is too close to the action, and AVEZ will secure a 6 from the T side.
And I'll tell you what, that's a big round coming out for the AVEZ camp. Marcos, the AWPer, with the AK in that round to be able to turn that one-on-one into a successful one. Movistar Riders. Now, we've spoken so much about the economy basis between both of these sides so far. You look at this point and you go, right, this round here is going to reset like either team. Like, whoever wins this is going to reset each other because no team has got any money in the reserve, Jay.
Very hard force backs from both sides, and Movistar will get things off on the right foot. They have the better buy in general, and this boost up from Alex. Again, they've done this before. They won't see any T-side players just yet. They are going to get heard, though, so it's all down to timing. Incendiary is coming through. Smoke there to blind it off. Marcos there with the AWP. Not quite getting seen. He is seen now. That's an M4 kill. Nice and easy. 5v3. Mopos is burning. Alex is burning. That's a lot of damage. That could be a kill back. Kai actually catches one straight through the wall with a headshot. Nora trades it back to 3-on-3. AVEZ have gained control, and Mopos with the M4 will burn one alive here towards the site. AK of Kyler swinging in. AWP is close, bursts up. Kyler's going to get very aggressive, but doesn't want to concede that bomb back. The AWP instead will start to move forward. Steel has no idea. He's got Overwatch. No scope lands a tag, and he gets punished for it. All left to Kyler now, 1-on-3, and Movistar have held the defensive line.
And we've seen Kyler clutch before. Can he do it again? He's turned it down to just 2 players. And Mopos is incredibly low, but he expects a play into the backstab. But both players of this Movistar Riders side are coming in from CT. He can actually make his way over to B, but he needs to get a move on, needs to start running once he gets far away enough that he's not going to be heard.
I don't think he'll be heard past the bridge, so that's when it starts to pick up the pace, I feel like. 18 seconds, and now he starts to make his moves. Mopos, I think he may have caught some audio info, something, maybe a footstep being heard. But either way, Kyler plant down a default. Head not locked from Arts making his way close. AK can win out this fight, assuming he can connect the first shot. Shocks faces, that's a kill. Kyler playing the long game, up for a 3K. Mopos coming in from stairs. Is he going to get towards the run boost position? He may well find that angle. Kyler's checking it, sees his man, sprays him down. What a clutch from Kyler, a 1-on-3. Patience is a virtue, as he proves on the T side.
He does it all. He does it absolutely all. He has massive rounds. He can clutch. He's clutched at least 3 or 4 times so far in this series. Wow, what a round from AVEZ. And Movistar Riders, things look so great. It was a 3-on-1. Yeah, there were a couple of players burning at Mopos and Alex, and it looked a little bit awkward. But they got so many trades. And now the money's just wrecked. AVEZ are putting up so many rounds on this T side.
Seven to the board, and Movistar, they had a bit of confidence going when they got their rifles and ecos back out against the T-side line. Now they're on ecos. Decos in particular. Mopos does find a good headshot on one. Peachy could swing it out, but no more than that. Nora and Marcos find the trades back to a 4-on-3 scenario. Steel and Alex pushing in towards mid, Shocks back over the A rotation, and I mean, AVEZ can go wherever they want at this stage. Neither site is being directly defended.
Walk in a B would work out to be quite nicely. Steel is gonna sort of backstab, and so is Alex. Unfortunately, they're a little bit too late to the party.
I can see the plant for it. Marcos caught off by Steel, so that's one good P250 frag, and AK picked up and dropped immediately by Kyler, so does not last long. Alex grabs one in return, though. Back over towards the ramp position. Shocks. What will he find? What can he hold against the T side? Got Bialy close. Headshot comes back. Alex left with his rifle just to save it. And AVEZ will get to 8-on-T. Again, not too shocking for a T side of Vertigo. But even so, Movistar would have loved to gain that, you know, the confidence that they showed off the back of their first round win.
Certainly. It seemed like, you know, once they got that streak of 3 rounds in a row, it was looking decent. They had some pretty good rounds, but again, sometimes it's, if you lose clutches, you can maybe sort of think in the back of your mind, oh, you know, it came down to us losing a 3-on-1, or it came down to a 1-on-1 being lost, and that's why we've lost the series. Yeah, you can make that point, but look at the momentum that AVEZ have been able to build off the back of those big rounds. Already putting up 8 rounds on the T side is an immaculate performance. And you've just got to think for the riders, you know, take this tactical, go, okay, like, we've struggled, we've found a bit of success, we need to find more.
Again, perfect chance to put those adjustments into place with the rifles out. AK, of course, saved by Alex, going to get a bit more firepower. They can afford M4s on Shocks and Mopos as well, with the AWP coming in for Larson. Full sets utility for the AWP as well. Mopos should also be able to afford a pretty decent setup. There it comes. Little flash. It's in the area and a smoke. And a must-win round for Movistar Riders. They are letting this one slip quite far away. Flashes over. A lot of players blind down there towards the ramp position. Not where the majority of the default is. Out towards mid is where the bomb's going. Steel's going to get boosted up. They've read this pretty well. Ready for Kyler first. Up, spray through. AK gets the shot. Opens things up for the T side.
Oh, great start coming out for the AVEZ camp. The flash is not quite going to blind off Shocks, but the Molly's going to force him back. Alex is going to be able to drop that bomb out through the middle and follow up with more kills. How has he got away with 2 picks?
On back to a 3 versus 2, but one as Norot swings on Alex. Shocks is left alone. Gets a second, not quite a third.
Oh.
And that got dicey, that got spicy there for the AVEZ camp, but they do maintain control. They just hold on to their 9th. And Movistar Riders got within inches of taking that one away.
That was close. That was very, very close indeed. And a bit of a change-up for the Riders. We haven't really seen them putting too much of a presence out to mid. We see Steel getting boosted up, instantly deleted out from Kyler. Alex does a great job of trying to bring it back, but it's not enough. And oh, that shot, that is pixels. That is such a tough shot to try and hit. What an opener, and a great response at least for the Riders, but they can't hold on to the even playing field.
Deagle back, trying to get a response back on Kai's own kills, but he doubles up for it. Shocks and Alex, last 2 players left, the AWP. We'll have to try and do some major damage on the A site play. I mean, the mid control's coming out from beyond. He's going to backstab in against them, or otherwise just buy a rotation into the B site. As he catches off Alex, he'll look for even more control. 1 left in Shocks, and his best bet is to save and hold on to the rifle at this stage. Bomber's making his way towards him, though. Good drop, indeed he does, but the Deagle turns around, could not line up the headshot on Bialy. So that's 10 for AVEZ. And Movistar, at least getting to 5 on the CT side would be a stance to work into the next half, but just the 12-3 scoreline will be a little bit too insurmountable for me.
There we go, double orbs. The first time we've seen it in either map by either team. I'm still picking it up. I'm surprised actually, because at least when I remember the Riders having the full sort of Spanish lineup, it was Alex that was normally picking up that secondary orb. So it looks like still wants to have a bit of a go at it. Out to mid to start the round off. Look at the utility, so much out from the T side to try and gain this ramp control. But the CTs, they're still waiting. They are waiting for an overextension.
Nade set, smokes down, AWP, small gap, seeing one. Bialy gets that opening kill towards mid, though. Again, overwhelming steal. He was not ready for that. Flashes him will catch Marcos off. Marcos gets that kill, but Norot trades it, and Flashes continue to do damage on the AWP. It's the 4-on-3, though, and Shocks has moved in. Oh, he's going to catch the bomb. He could get so much out of this. He could find a backstab on towards Marcos, the AWP, spots him though and takes him down. That could have been a glorious backstab, but so mistimed on the peaks, and the rest of the CTs just fall to pieces.
Oh, what a shot from Marcos. You're right. You know, he would have spotted that bomb. If he could have taken Marcos down, we could have had a very, very different story. Alex is just saying, yep, I'm out of here. There's not really much I can do now. 11-3, and I think this is kind of getting to a scoreline now where it's unthinkable that a comeback can come through. It's just too far gone. Movistar Riders needed, I would say, at least 6-7 rounds in this first half if they wanted any chance going into T, but the fact they've only been able to put up 3, it's just not enough. What?
I'm not going to try explaining it. I don't think it needs explaining at this stage. 11 to the board of AVEZ. Oh, AWP being hunted. They don't even save the AWP. They don't even save the AWP. And they're going to need that to rebuy into this one, because it's going to be a very harsh buyback for Movistar. For round 15, this should be 12-3 for AVEZ. This should be a simple T side. Movistar Riders, they basically got to just rely on responding with a similar sort of strength over on their T side.
The thing is, as well, though, being down so many rounds, it puts the pressure on that if you lose pistol, you've pretty much given up already. AVEZ have put up a sensational T side, and they're just waiting for some mid-aggression. Bialy, easy kill onto Mopos, and they're just waiting for overextensions. They're playing very passive, and Movistar Riders, they're giving them so many duels.
Nora, the last 2 players left. Steel gets kind of released. That's 1 frag, but Hamas is in. Norot's close. Swings out, gets the frag back, bursts onto it, onto another headshot, but doesn't land it. Kai there with the kill. Steel left alone in a 1-on-3. And hey, at least the map might end quickly in the context of AVEZ. Move on to that third very, very soon. And it all comes down to Movistar Riders if they can secure a comeback.
Still out through the ramp position. I mean, really even running out of time. Marcos didn't quite see him, so Still's able to find one, and Kai's just on the other side of the railing. A 12th round up for the AVEZ side. Okay. Well, that was a bit different than how the first half ended on the first map of Inferno.
Indeed, yes. Much more far gone for AVEZ on this T side of their own map pick. Meanwhile, over on the B stream, Level Up versus Pact. Okay, hold on to that for a second, because the odds have most certainly gone against Movistar Riders, and understandably so, I guess you could see from here. AVEZ on a monster position. But meanwhile, Level Up versus Pact is currently on map 2. That's just gone to map point for Level Up, so could be seeing a third map over on our other series over on the B stream for those of you who want an update for that one. Double flash and defuse for this stream of AVEZ right now. Norot there with the kit in play. 2 players of utility and Steel and Mopos, and Movistar Riders absolutely need to get this pistol if they want a chance at claiming a comeback against AVEZ.
This is the one and only chance right here, right now. And for AVEZ, just a bit of jump spotting coming out from Kai, seeing if he can spot anything out to that ramp position, which is where most of the Ts are ready to get their execution through. 3 players out to this ramp position. And Narod, if these flashes are timed right, they'll be so blind.
Flash in, headshots coming through for Kai and Bialy. It's an easy crossfire, an easy cleanup. And Movistar are shut the hell down. 13-3, flash in, perfect. Utterly perfect there from the AVEZ pistols.
No, you couldn't get much better than that. The first flash comes in, they're blind. The second flash, they're even more blind. And the USPs, they just tap, tap, tap away, and 13 rounds go on the board of AVEZ. There's no way that Movistar Riders can force this. No bomb plant, no real nothing. So it's just going to be a couple of P250s, Glocks for the most of them. AVEZ are getting just closer and closer to that 16th.
Kyler sets spray. Alex takes down that opening kill. At least a quick rush coming through. Might have won the rifles here on the site. Markosh also gets traded, so 4-on-3. They are heavily tagged up, and Bialy drops that bomb, drops the second, seeing that third player crossing as well. A plant to secure. A little bit extra money going into the next round from here as Larson goes down just after the bomb gets planted. Steel is left to run away. I mean, if you could take a rifle away, that would be great, but the reality is that even that's going to be a slim chance. Doesn't save much. was a basic eco. Can be happy with his performance and his teammates in that last round because obviously that pistol, that eco, gets a buy up to come through from MOVISTAR Riders, a confident one at that. And now it's their final chance, their real final chance to try and bring it back to AVEZ, but they need to be flawless from here.
Yeah, they really do. They can't make pretty much any mistakes. AVEZ, you've got to think that they need to just make sure they're not being too cocky at the moment. The fact is, you know, there is still an opportunity, no matter what the scoreline, no matter what the map, no matter what the team, of comebacks in this game. So they just need to make sure they're playing their own game, not giving up any sort of massive overextensions. And if they can do that, they should be able to close out this series pretty soon. Or at least this map, I should say.
M4 set, moving forward, real close to position here. T-side held outside of ramp. Nora in particular with the M4, edge of the Molotov. That's Markosh and Kai coming up, and they all get cleaned out. What a spray, and what a crossfire set. Alex left alone, backstabs incoming, don't know exactly where he is. This should not be a round that he can clutch. AVEZ have made light work of this second map.
They really have. This is looking pretty simple. Tell you what, Alex can actually get some pretty wacky timing here. If he actually crosses over while the two players come out from the alley position, no. Okay, it's not going to happen. They check the angle, so it's 15 on the board for AVEZ. And for the Riders, I tell you what, they can sort of look at this map and go, okay, it wasn't our map pick. We've been simply outclassed. We're not ready for Vertigo. So what? Let's just go to a third. That's got to be the attitude. You can't sort of be thinking too much about this because really, AVEZ have just looked unstoppable in this second map.
They have. And there's not really much else you can say other than that for MOVISTAR Riders. Like, they have just been shut down easily. You would have hoped that on this T side they would have been able to, you know, try and find some confidence. But the reality is that this map was always going to be difficult for them. You just don't have enough time with the new players in check to install some good strategy and tactics. And the end result is what you see on screen. 15-3, map point going into round 19 for AVEZ. At least a good kill comes in for Alex to start things off, but a lot more work will need to be done here by this T-side camp to find their way on. Many shops might find that damage. Taking out Marcos with a quick flick back. Bialy, they're dealing with him, gets a double up, dropping that bomb. Swing back from the M4. Mopos will trade it, as will Alex get Bialy next. Kyler on the backlines though. Bomb in his control. Swings out, gets that frag. Now the Mopos in a 1v1. Seen here towards Ali. Kyler sees his shadow, just trying to try and bait him in because he knows that he has this bomb, knows that Mopos has to challenge him, knows that he can go facing, get the headshot, and get the map for AVEZ. 16-3, a dominant affair. We're going to a third.
We are indeed. And I'll tell you what, I'm actually really excited for Train. We sort of saw just a lights out performance, and I've got to be honest, I thought that it would be a little bit more one-sided than that first map, Jay, but maybe not kind of this scoreline. 16-3. That was utter domination coming out from the Polish side.
It really was, and like it just wasn't even close. That's the thing, right? Again, I hope the T-sides would be the confident halves. I hope the T-sides would come through for the MOVISTAR Riders because, you know, they've had a couple of good performances on that T-side. You know, nothing to quite the extent of the likes of AVEZ, but just, you know, very clearly, and you know, some of the issues, some of the strengths that we've seen in bringing the two new players onto the board have also sort of reared their ugly heads in a tactical perspective. And you know, again, we kind of called this at the start of the map, but it was a lot more severe than I think we would have expected.
Yeah, it certainly was, and that's a bit of a worrying sign for Train. The fact is that it seems like Inferno is a pretty good map for MOVISTAR Riders, but outside of Inferno, what is the rest going to bring to the table? We certainly saw Larson not really finding a lot with that AWP. That was probably one of the biggest elements in that first map, was how impactful both Larson and Shox was, and it felt like just... obviously, I don't want to blame the players going into the second map, because obviously it was kind of the team that didn't show up, but Alex was the only player that was putting up some big kills.
I think it was just down to lack of confidence on a map like this. You know, again, when you don't have the tactics in place, when you don't have the strategy, like it's to me, that's what it all comes down to. The fact that there was no tactics or strategy there for the Movistar Riders. So going into training, it's a chance for a fresh start. And I don't think we can keep guys like Larson and Shocks down for very long. To be honest, I think that the AWP can thrive. I mean, we talked about it over on in the pregame, how Train can be a map where, you know, the AWP can do well. They don't particularly support the double op setups there for the Movistar Riders side, but they put Larson in the right places, connect Ivy. You know, you can get a lot of opening kills. You can hold a couple of great defensives. So that's going to be the focus of Movistar Riders going into our final map here. It's a chance for qualification into the playoffs, so don't go anywhere. Train, our third and final map of our winners best of three is coming up after this break. Do not go anywhere.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back to Malta Vibes. Welcome back to our winners match here on the main stream between Movistar Riders and AVEZ. If you're not watching the B stream, then it's okay because you don't need to see anything anymore. It's a 2-0 over on the part of Pack. They eliminated Level Up a little bit a moment ago, actually, over on the B stream. Went to an overtime, and it's actually goofy with a 1v3 clutch that actually managed to win that series. So they'll be moving on to the losers, the decider matchup, I should say, in the lower bracket to face on the loser against this match, which is going on to its third map of the series. Vertigo was a disaster there for Movistar, but it wasn't their map pick, and it certainly was not expected to be theirs either. Going on to train, it could be a much more confident affair, Dwayne, but they need to get those AWPers enabled, need to get the new guns fragging.
Yeah, look, I'm hoping it's a little bit more of a contest. Again, you've got to think AVEZ going into train, they've got the upper hand. It's a strong map for them. It's a map that they pick pretty often. But you're right. For Movistar Riders, they need to play with a lot of confidence, and they need to get the AWPs going through. You know what they need, though? They need clutches. We saw, I would say certainly they clutched a fair bit on Inferno, but when you compare the two teams, I would say that AVEZ, over the course of the last two maps, have clutched more often than most over the Movistar Riders side.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the clutches sort of shut down a lot of the strength, I think, of the Movistar Rider side as well. You know, like the one thing we talked about, obviously, in the pre-game and map 2 was the idea of CT retakes, and we said that, you know, we saw a lot of those out on Inferno. Didn't see many of them over on Virgo because they just weren't given the time of day. On Train, though, I think that it probably could be a little bit easier because so CT heavy, so CT based that they can just hold presence on the map, and you can hold decent positions as well close towards the bomb sites without actually giving up the frags. You get the site control and obviously the bomb plant, but retakes are very, very likely, I think, for Movistar Riders on their CT half, but it's all going to come down to that CT half and potentially even that CT start, Blake. So into the knife round, I think that they're going to need to take a win in that opening sort of start here, and that knife round is about to go live, so an opportunity to remind you all that once again, Malta Vibes is brought to Gaming Malta, home of gaming excellence. And Doug, I want to get your final predictions on this one. Who do you think is taking this series on train?
I'm going to say it's AVEZ, yeah. I think it's a risky call to sort of say Movistar Riders are going to be able to take this long series. I certainly think they'll be able to take it to a contest, but realistically, I just don't see double digits coming up for the Movistar Riders side. I hope they prove me wrong, though.
I'm going to give him the credence of double digits, but I do think, having seen what I've seen so far, AVEZ probably will be in with the victory, and I'm not just saying that because I predicted them to make it out of the group alongside Pact, but, you know. It will be a knife round going the way of the Movistar Riders camp, so they get their choice of side. CT starts expected, and indeed they will be chosen. And a very, very important half to take. If AVEZ can test close here on our first half, then this could be another disaster map for the Riders side.
It certainly could be. Now, at least for the Riders, they are up on CT. That is going to make a bit of a difference going into this last map of the series, but they need to get off to a good start. They need to be able to get the pistol round, get some momentum going, and fire up individually, because you look at those odds over at our good friends at Loophead, they are heavily favoring the AVEZ side, 1.41 for the Polish camp. If you do want to get involved in those odds, you can check out the links below the Twitch channel, 10 free CSGO spins, and up to a €100 bonus on your deposit. Jumping in, Jay, it's map 3, and it's time to kick off. And look at the aggression out from Ivy from the Riders.
Straight out towards T-Con and Pop Dog from AVEZ, though, responding in kind with a bomb site take, and no one there to defend it because they win so aggressive towards the Ivy presence. And it's Bialy to open things up. Domes Alex dead before he even hits the floor. 5-on-4, making it to 4-on-4 as Larson finds a trade. The backstab's coming through, and that attack damage starting to hurt the AVEZ side. Markosh keeps the man advantage for AVEZ for the moment, though. Got Kyler up in heaven. Mopos swings out from Connector, gets Kai to an even standing once again. It's Shocks from Ivy, looking on towards the green train, trying to spot one out towards Old Hell. Saw one at Sandwich. Larson gets that kill. Shocks gets Nor at the backup, and it's all on Kyler. Bomb not planted from. They pop out heaven to open up. Looks for one player, gets that kill, gets that second. Mopos now. Smoke, no kick for the defuse. Takes the fight. No Kevlar either. Gotta try get back out. Faced in, and Kyler wins the clutch. 1-on-3 for AVEZ's pistol. They start things off on T side.
Just take the keyboard away from him. Stop letting him clutch. This is ridiculous. This is getting out of hand. He has clutched in every single map so far in this series, time and time again. A massive 1-on-3 to come out. And Movistar Riders, they can't shut down Kyler. He's been the leading fragger in the entire server so far over the series. Positive 17, jumping into map 3. Oh my goodness. What an insane clutch.
Kai opening things up in the second round as well. Going to continue the momentum for AVEZ once again. Kyler comes up with a kill of his own right. He's traded back this time by Mopos. 2 for 1s, 1-0. Not seeing him though. The gun barrels actually getting in the way of the vision of the T-side camp. Now Shox turns it onto a 3-on-2. 2-on-2 as Marcos gets steal over to the Brown Horse. But a rifle picked up by Mopos and a real good chance to return the favor on an eco round.
It's not even a force, you're absolutely right. Shox is the only player that's forced down completely. For the rest of them, only a couple of upgrades here and there. 2-on-2, this is getting really deadly, but for the Riders, they're stacking up this B bomb site. Picked up an AK from Mopos. Oh, they're going to start to aggress too. This is going to be information. Ooh, I'm not sure if that was heard from Marcos, but the timing's everything.
Mopos is going to go down Pop Dog. He will rotate back to the A site, sees his man. What's he going to go for? Simple kill, look for the second player. He sees them both and lines them up. Connects damage on a collateral headshot. And he gets a 2K for his name. MOVISTAR Riders with a fantastic return against AVEZ, and the economy is now booming for the CT side.
And I'll tell you what, Mopos could take a bow. That's really smart triggered discipline. He was just waiting to see if he can get some information of where that second player is. Lines him up, a couple of easy kills to go the way of that CT side. And Larson's like, yep, no, give me the AWP. I want it out straight away. And it's kind of surprising the AWP's coming out in a round like this, where it's a forced buy back for AVEZ. It seems like the big green gun is a very big investment to not bring it out in a rifle round for both teams.
AVEZ just sitting with a scout for the moment. Kyler backed up without Kevlar, obviously on this force buy. So no snipers, or no AWP specifically for AVEZ. Obviously the AWP's still out for MOVISTAR, but it's the AKs that shine first. Shox kill on Kyler. Flash in, almost getting the M4 into position, but he gets caught by his own teammate's flash. So kill for Marcos. Shox catches off the bomb plot and does not get Kai. So once again, the pistols doing a lot of great damage here. This time for the T-side favor. AWP held back towards Red Train, but not being allowed a chance to swing. They've grabbed the rifle, and now AVEZ will fall back.
Now, this is very doable for the AVEZ side. 3-on-3, yeah, you've got Marcos low, but picking up an M4, especially on Kai, there's still an opportunity to try and open up a site. Now, they've got to make a decision here from AVEZ. Do they try and split into the A bomb site with just the late lurk out from Ivy and drop a couple of players through Pop Dog? 40 seconds left. Now, that scout's made contacts. That's a bit of information that's now been relayed. They're actually going to try and hit B.
Try to bait them into the A rotation, focus their fire over on the Ivy presence, but real hits coming through towards that B site. You've got Mopos there, back of the white train. Khalil sees one, sprays through, takes Kai down. The second flash also coming through towards the grill position, ensuring nothing else comes out from the T-side peaks. Larson gets his AWP shot into Marcos, and Alex back to the Ivy presence will look towards the Pop Dog area, get Nora next to fall down. And a simple round coming in from the Rider side. Yes, a little bit of damage done by those pistols on the force buy. The rifles reign supreme, and ecos come through for AVEZ.
They hold on to that AWP. That's the big important thing, is that doesn't go down in that last round. And for AVEZ, look, they get a couple of kills. They turn it into a 3-on-3. They weren't really able to find any more than that. And so for the Riders, they're in a really great position. They've targeted the economy really early in this third map of Train. I could potentially go 3-1 up the Zeus out through Pop Dog. The range just not quite there for the opening kill.
If it was a second earlier, he actually would have been able to get that frag. And still going to utilize that kill to continue pushing up, gain Brown Horse control, start backstabbing in against the B site positions, but the T-Con control, the Ivy presence taken out. Now just 2 players out, both spotted, both taken out. Easy pickings there for the CT camp, and well, that's the kind of MOVISTAR we hope to see going into this first half. 3-1 at the start, and the rifles come back in for AVEZ.
This needs to be them getting on the board. They need to be able to find some sort of contest back. Now, we haven't really seen too much over to the B bomb side. It's been a lot of T-Con and a lot of Ivy presence so far from the T side. So maybe some sort of change up. Something a little bit quicker as well to try and see if they can fly a player out into that sort of Olive position. It's been very slow and methodical. And they're actually bringing that AWP over to the upper heaven position at B. This is an opportunity for License to strike early on. He's going to run through the flames. Surely they're going to herd that.
Ready for picks. Got Mopos there to support. Who's going to play contact? Who's going to try find a trade? Smokes down towards the A side. Look at shot straight up. Pop Dog sees 2 falls. All right, the hell out of dodge. And now calls for his backup. Here comes Mopos in particular. Moving in. No one's checking for it. The M4's getting out of dodge. The AKs make their way up. It's all down to timing for this aggressive face of the CT side. And Steel falls as the shocks go down the same. Alex left towards Ivy. The backstab still here. Seeing one top of blue. Takes that face. Sees E-Box, but Norok gets the trade. Still the Orpalaton making his way up. What can he find from here? Scope in, couldn't line up for collapse, but Marcos swings at the perfect moment. Alex left alone, a 1-on-4. This should be a round for AVEZ.
Oh, it really should be. Oh, tell you what, like the Riders, they did everything right. So Shox is in Pop Dog. He's pulling the distraction away because he knows that he's got 2 teammates over at the B bomb site of the Anchors that have pressed into Brown Halls and haven't seen anything. So if Shox is able to bring a distraction in Pop Dog, that can allow the pressure to come through. They did everything right, but a little bit unlucky with the timings, a bit of luck going the way of the AVEZ side. And Movistar Riders, they go, right, this is train, let's run the double AWPs.
Indeed, for the first time today, not in the best of 1, we saw this setup not so far here in this best of 3. And it's Alex taking it out for his side. It shocks the first man to fall, though. Still going to try and re-aggress, however, outside of the T-Con area. The flashes will keep him blind, though. And it's Larson there to start things off for the CT cap. Kai spotted as well towards Olof. AWP moving in, still able to isolate that frag, turning back to a 4-on-3. Favor to the Riders camp as AVEZ unable to get things started off for the man advantage on their default.
Oh, still wants more. He's continuing the aggression out to T-Con. He wants to try and find another kill. Now, if he takes down Bialy, that bomb's going to be dropped out in T-Con. And they haven't been able to get that secondary AWP fired up just yet from Alex. It was Larson to find the opener. And even the swing coming out. A bit of an overextension. And Bialy's going to punish Steel for it.
Big frag to find. 3-on-3 scenario. Smokes down towards Ivy, and is that E-Box, I believe? Yeah, E-Box cross. Nor will get back towards that cross behind that cover. Smoke down, nade on towards the bomb train. Could do some damage to Larson, lands a bit too deep. And him with a second AWP, Alex faces, gets that kill, gets the second. Last player spotted, top of blue. Bialy seeing the one man, but now known to the entire CT force, a 1-on-3 clutch to make happen. Could isolate these headshots with the AK, but I imagine that he's probably just not bound for this world. Just a 4, maybe get a bomb plant at best. But one at stopper to deny any sort of position. That's not the default angles. A swing out. Larson goes down. Okay, this could be a chance for the veteran.
And Bialy, now we've seen Kyler clutching in the past. This time around it's going to come down to the veteran player. Now clearing out connector, he's going to realize, okay, there probably isn't going to be any backstab presence. The only way it can be is out through the Ivy position. And I tell you what, the timing comes down to everything. Silent jump, he didn't get heard.
Nice out, though, needs that rifle in check. AWP keeping his eyes on alongside Mopos moving forward. Info could be aplenty. Sees the man, hits his shot, gets that kill. Faces in against Mopos, next to clutch it. Bialy 3 frags, bomb out in the open and time's ticking. Mopos going to escape with his life, and Bialy is done. He's hunting for the final. The veterans know how to play this game as he proves in whole, bringing AVEZ back to evens.
The Clutch Kings. They really are the Clutch Kings. AVEZ, my goodness, it doesn't matter who's in the position. They just clutch out. A 1-on-3 coming out from Bialy. And playing that so well. The silent drop, when you need to make sure in that position where you are at spools, if you need to make that silent drop, you need to crouch off the edge and then mid-air, get that crouch button off to create the silent drop to not make any noise. And they just had no idea. It was a little bit of a whiff on that player towards the stopper camera position, but of course, Bialy's able to clean up. And they're even taking a tactical for it.
I think they've realized that they didn't want to lose as much in that round as they actually did, and being in this position where they could potentially destroy what Movistar have in terms of the economy basis. Maybe expecting a force buy, but they aren't going to see any of that here. It's the AWP on with the basic pistols and eco coming through from Movistar, so no matter the outcome of this round, they'll get rifles for round 8. But AVEZ on with a chance to take a lead on the T side, and with this amount of pressure being held here, with these rounds being contested as close as they are, Movistar could be in with a much more rougher CT half than they would have hoped for.
Larson, ooh, an opportunity to find the first. and doesn't come through out from Ivy. So now the information comes through. Okay, we know where the AWP is. AVEZ. They've used a mass amount of utility and haven't really gained a lot for it. You've got a couple of players in through the brown halls, but they had so much early utility to the upper bomb site to fake that they were running in quick, and now the gamble stack's coming out of B.
All 5 players, including the AWP, set smokes down towards crosses, Connector and Summit. But nothing else being shown by the T side. Instead, they're going to start walking out towards the A side, hoping they baited in the rotation. And I mean, I guess they kind of have. It wasn't really the smokes that was caused it, but either way, smoke down towards the A bomb site in the Ivy position. Plant should be secured. The 5-on-5 retake if Rides want to go for it here, but they are still set up towards the stack to the B side. They'll hear the plant coming through, so now they can make a decision.
I think they're quite happy to at least recover that AWP. That's the big thing. Don't let that go down. That is a 100% guarantee that you know, really don't want to throw yourself in. Maybe the pistols can try and see if they can find an exit kill or two, but they're quite happy just to sort of play around this AWP, make sure it doesn't go down. And AVEZ, well, they are going to take back the lead for the first time since the pistol round, Jay.
The orb stays in play for Larson, which is the main thing, I think, for the CT cap. No exit frags can be gained by MOVISTAR. Was an eco round, though, so losing that is not going to be too much of a problem for this CT cap. 4 on the board for AVEZ. Lead gained by the T-side forces, and the AWPs in for Markosh and Larson. And the rebuy comes in from MOVISTAR. Again, this is their main focus. This is their round to win. This is their opportunity at shutting AVEZ back down, trying to see if they can stop the economy from building the way that it has done so far. Oh. It's the MVP for Markosh immediately out, taking steal. Norok gets shocks over at the sandwich position. I didn't think Norok was going to get traded there by the Molotov. Larson gets away with the kill, but Kai responds onto Alex, so it's all left to the AWP. Close range, quick scope misses, and the round falls apart. 1-on-4 for Mopos.
So Norok had a smoke out, and he right-clicked, but he didn't quite click all the way, then went back to his weapon and realized he didn't use his smoke. That was so quick coming out from AVEZ, and we haven't really seen it too much in Inferno and Vertigo, but AVEZ are one of those teams that they're pretty slow, they're pretty methodical on their defaults, they like to take their time, and then out of nowhere, it is so difficult to read, they just rush you, and that's exactly what they did in this round. They got some really great entries. The AWP of Larson just couldn't really find anything, only a single pick. What a round from AVEZ. That's probably their best one on train yet, outside of maybe the Kyler 1-on-3.
A 5th on the board for AVEZ, and this is looking concerning now for MOVISTAR. The way they just got picked to pieces by this T-side execute. It wasn't like it's a... it's not like this is like a Virgo, you know, where the T-side is expected to go well. Yeah. This is a train where the CT side is the most dominant thing in the game. To see this go this poorly for MOVISTAR on the start, they need to find some sort of response. But a tactical coming out from AVEZ instead, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, no, just realizing the fact of saying, okay, we know the economy's low. They had a buy in that last round, so we should be able to go into this trying to keep sort of 3-4 players alive, maybe 5. I mean, even that's a bit of a stretch. Building up their money. I mean, you have a look at Marcos, Bialy, even Kyler. A lot of money in the bank. So taking a couple of hits, a couple of losses, it's going to chip at it, but it's not going to destroy it massively. And you know what, Jay? I mean, it is still very, very early into train, but I'm just getting that gut feeling that this is seeming like very similar to Vertigo in the fact that we just saw so much presence in that first half from the AVEZ side.
Damage done again early to Nora, but he gets that all off position. Facing in towards Sandwich, waiting for Larson to reface him back with the Eagles, but nothing will be taken on the aggression. The M4 of Mopos will aggress towards Brown Halls, the only player defending B site. Larson actually opens things up on Nora, interestingly enough, so opening kill received. AVEZ can't get a response early here.
Okay, that's not a bad opener at all. They can be quite happy with that. AVEZ looking like they're just going to go for a straight B execution. They don't really have any kind of sort of like a lurk play. Nothing out from Ivy, nothing at T-Con. It's all grouped together in the showers. They just need to make sure that someone's keeping an eye on for Pop Dog, because as soon as presence is shown at B, there's going to be a quick rotations out for the CT side.
Here they go. Deagle's in, dealt with by Kai and Bialy. Mopos jumps back in with the M4 to a 3-on-3. Back behind Oil Train, he's seen. Nades up to try to do some damage. Oh, steal. Deagle's up, kill back, can't get Kyler. He's so close. The AWP doesn't land it. Kai gets Alex back. Kyler falls. It's all left to Kai in the summit spot. He's clutched this stuff before. We do it again here. Mopos to fall. 1-on-1 against an AWP. Glass cannon for Steel, still focused in his position. Sees him, baited in the shot, tapping the defuse once he's got no kit. He's got a force kite to come to him. Both looking the wrong way. The AK clutches the round. 4 kills for Kai, and for a non-investment round there for Movistar Riders. That's not that bad of a damage being done to the T side. They'll still invest, the economy will still look strong, but it might set up for a future breakage.
Yeah, look, it's decent. They'll still be disappointed. I mean, Steel had just such an opportunity. How he didn't spam down that the bomb planner, I won't know. But again, yeah, look, it's a round that AVEZ probably should have been able to win pretty easily, but it's another clutch to come out for the Polish side. And this time around, it's Kai. Now, in this matchup so far, even in this map, we've seen Bialy clutch, we've seen Kyler clutch, and now Kai clutch. We have had 3 different individuals clutch, and we've only played 9 rounds so far of Train. Oh my goodness.
Shot's not connecting. Kai takes the opener on Alex. Kicking things off, following suit with his frags in the last round. And again, AVEZ finding the responses, finding the answers for every Movistar Riders aggressive face, or even their default defensive positions. Larson's held back passive towards the back line. Orb scoping in. Shox will catch off one spray through on towards Kai. Larson's got the info. He gets the kill for it. 2-for-1s return back by the CT forces, but Mopos too close to the smoke, too aggressive in ramp. Only player holding B. Molotovs go down. The plant could be secured.
Oh, Narot's so aggressive. He's going to get seen from the AWP. Good shot and good recovery coming out from Larson. That's going to give them back that man advantage. A 3-on-2 for the CT side. The AWP coming in from Marcos needs to hit this shot immediately. But that molly, that's going to force them back into the brown halls.
They've got a molly of their own on Marcos, so he can try and put this down in the default position. Indeed, he will as they make their way up. Flashes over and Cindy return from the CT side. Kyler gets 1 steal, returns it. They've got to get to that bomb right now. Defuse being stuck. Marcos got to peek forward with the AWP. Sees the man and shuts it down. It steals. Oh! Marcos! What was that final shot?
What? Oh my goodness. What have we just witnessed? Oh, I've never seen that. Like, sometimes you get the spams coming through to try and do damage, like from the opposite position from the CT side's perspective. But that was insane. Now it's 4 clutches from 4 different individuals, Jay. Now it's Marcos that steps up. Narod saying, I need some action. I want to clutch now.
Kyler's like, I just want to get some frags, and that's what he'll get. 2 kills out of the entrance towards T-Con. Eco around from Movistar, because what choice do they have? And this has been a disaster CT side. A disastrous half for Movistar Riders. Looking at an 8th for AVEZ, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Half advantage gained, and where is the tack pause? Where is the moment's respite? Where is the adjustment from Movistar Riders here?
Yeah, it's got to come in soon. You've got to think, right? This is now, what, 7 rounds in a row, I want to say, for AVEZ. It's been a lot. And they've tried double AWPs. They've tried getting aggressive out through Ivy. We've seen aggression out towards the B, the brown halls. They've changed it up, but they're just simply losing a lot of these clutches that they can't afford to lose. 8-3 up on the T side as well, Jay. And look at the pressure. Kai is so fast out to sandwich, but he's going to be heard from those flames.
Or is he? Larson firing away with the AWP. Alex held in a very similar position with his own AWP out here, so redundancy could be a bit of an issue for the CT camp. It's still there to take out Norot. The AWP shot missing its first kill. Doesn't matter. 5 on 4, making it 4. Kyler gets shots. Kai gets steal. Falling back towards the sandwich area. Smoke down off the back of the bomb train. The plant can be received. A 4 on 3, even though Kai's on just 2 points of health.
Riders, this has got to be a round for them. Surely Kai is so damn low. The flashbang coming up. What was that shot from Alex? Completely blind. And now Larson's getting involved in the action. 2 on 3 for the T's.
And Kai is so low HP. It's going to rest on Markosh. Position revealed for the AK as well. And he goes down to Alex. Or left to the AWP of the T side. Smoke down towards Pop Dog. Flash coming in. It's open for him behind the red train. Scopes up. Missed its shot, and finally, at long last, Movistar Riders get something to the CT board. But it has been a lot of rounds in a row, 7 in a row to be more specific for AVEZ. It's finally the win streak broken by Movistar Riders.
They just need a moment to breathe, but at the same time, right, you've got to think, yeah, you've won a good round here, but the pressure's not off, you know? AVEZ have been able to just throw so much at this T side that, yeah, you won a good round, you can be really happy about it, but you need to keep the pressure on. You need to be getting at least 6 or 7 rounds on this CT side, and even that's going to be a really difficult feat. Kai, we've seen how much work he's been able to pull off around this 5-6 sandwich angle, and Marcos has got a bit of information tagged to come up to start the round off.
Alex is low. 1 or 2 AWPs in play again. Marcos smokes down, shots gets that one pipeline spray from Kai, will do damage to Steel next up. But he's not dead. The kill can come back for Shocks to return on Kyler. 5 on 3 scenario. AWP's watching. Marcos dead with the AWP. Force back in Pop Dog. Look how close Kai is to the CT defensive. He gets Shocks down. So much damage being done. And he doubles up with Marcos getting Mopos. And the damage returns to the man advantage for AVEZ once again. CT's forced away from the site. Then Alex gets a kill for Kai, but the plant can still come through.
Oh, Alex has got so much work to do. It's double AWPs out at the moment for the Riders. And AVEZ have got to make a decision here. Do they want to commit B or continue the presence to A? Now, with Bialy with the bomb towards Showers now, you'd have to expect that they're going to go for a B play. It is very risky for 2 players to swing out from Pop Dog to try and go A. And for the Riders, even they've got to make a decision. Do we want to gamble stack A or do we want to gamble stack B?
Larson. All out the timing with this face, keeping his eyes on upper and lower. Gonna make their way out from upper as well. And connecting, he'll be wary of any sort of backstabs coming through. He's basically got 3 angles to check. It all comes down to timing, and the timing is awful for him. They drop out, Bialy sees the man. Gets that bomb to the site, planted down on default now. Top and yellow train, Larson, Summit Way, and Alex watching out the left-hand side of that train, at least from the T-side perspective. Bialy's going to get very aggressive. They can find a backstab on his players. Orb shot not connecting to a kill. Marcos instead gets Larson, and Alex is known. Bialy's so close. Orb does see him. It's a bit of a shock of his life, but now a one-on-one with both players being low. Pistol duel from Alex is going to try and win this at the close-range positions. Running around, revealing his position now, sees the man. USP's close, but Marcos, no scope, lands it, gets another good clutch. A 3K for him and a 9th for AVEZ.
And I'm pretty sure he got the rare knife inspect too after he got that no-scope. I'm pretty sure that's like a 1 in 100 chance to get the falchion knife to stand up on his hand like that. What a no-scope to come out. What another big round from AVEZ. And I tell you what, for the Riders, they had, what, a 5 on 3? They had so many advantages in the early beginnings of that last round. 4 rounds up on the CT side, AVEZ just continue.
Oh, Larson peeking and aggressive to try and return it, and they are finding some good starts in these rounds, but the responses are always there from AVEZ. Kyler getting Steel in particular is taking damage to 66, but it's better off than where Steel's at. 4 on 4. Nora this corner of Olaf's position. Larson boosted up top with Ticket Booth. Going to try and find something out here towards the Seacon area. Shocks backing up as they have gained Ivy control. Finds Nora as he extends a little bit too far out for the T side. Movistar Riders again gaining advantages. Trying to bring back and recover what's left of this half. 3 players alive for AVEZ, starting to lean towards the B play.
And this is really where they start to come into their own, AVEZ, once it gets down to almost the post plant. The executions on the site later in the round, even when they've lost opening man advantage, they've proved time and time again that they can bring it back. And they are going to rotate a second player over to this B bomb site of Larson, and this could actually be timed out very nicely.
Ready for Mars moving up top of the grill train. 3 players out of the smoke. They're going to pop flash through it, catch the AWP completely blind, seeing and not seeing the player close though. That's Mopos there with Kyler dropping. Bialy gets Mopos back to a 3-on-2 scenario. And the plant can be received. Kai's got to find one of these players out here, and he just can't make it happen. AWP shot connecting, Bialy left alone. Clutched this before. He will try and do so again. Moving close, all down to timings. He's going to get checked. Spray goes awkward, and he does not win his fight regardless. So Alex just clutches it here for Movistar. A 5th to the board of the CT side.
Okay, it's decent. Look, it's not the greatest of rounds, but it's still a 5th. So for the Riders, they could be happy with that. They were able to force some really nice engagements out. And even the fact that Larson's ready for the overextension, the over-aggression on that T side. And they've been able to chip away at this money line. Kai and Nara don't really have a massive amount to work with. Movistar Riders, they've just got to be thinking, right, 5 or 6 rounds, it's what we've got to work with. It's not the best CT half in the world, but it's what we have.
I mean, even then, to lose a CT half on train, even by any margin.
Yeah, it's tough.
You better have a good T side, let's put it that way. I don't know if Movistar Riders do. We know so little about this new team with the 2 new players. We know that they're good, but are they that good? Well, Kyler and Alex will try and frag away for the last round of this half. It's still there in the back line. It's going to get caught off guard by Bialy, but gets Kyler on the way back out. Mopos dealt with towards connector, so it's Alex and Larson. Again, the double AWP set to try and hold off the retake, since there's no way they're holding this bomb site. Cross scene. Actually, one player spotted with the AK. That's a good kill from Alex. Close range against Bialy. The AK finds the frag, and Larson is known here towards Pop Dog. The plant can come in safe, make his way out. Flicks back, gets the player and stopper. A 1-on-1 now against Marcos. Planted back of the train, 9 HP for Larson. He's got to land his flick and his shot, and he gets it as well. Finally, a good clutch found for the Riders side as they claim 6 to close out and recover the best of their CT side.
And we've seen so many clutches coming out from the AVEZ side. Finally, it tiptoes in the other camp. The Movistar Riders, Larson, what a clutch. What a beautiful 1-on-2 there for that AWP. They knew exactly where he was. Bialy was caught out trying to throw a nade in. The jiggle peak to come out from Marcos. A very quick shot indeed. Nice. Nicely done.
Honestly, beautiful shooting from that AWP. As we've seen so far, some beautiful halves and some beautiful skins as well, some of which you can get your hands on at this stage. For our case partners at hellcase.com, use codes MultiV and MultiV15. You saw them on your screens. Free money and free refill bonuses. Again, only at hellcase.com. Only at Lootbet can you get these kinds of odds. They have very little faith in the Riders, and that's understandable. That CT half was abysmal. Definitely not what they wanted to come out with. And I think the place is going to be setting this pistol round, Dweg. If they hold a confident defense for AVEZ, the Movistar Riders may get shut out of the second half.
Yeah, you've got to think, right? They win pistol, they can really start to run away with it. The Riders, all the pressure's on the back of them. 6 rounds up in the first half, looking to see if they can establish a bit of a comeback. Now, Larson's just out towards T-Com with this P250 and Kai. I mean, what even off angle is that?
And Kyler finds Alex next. 5-on-3 situation. Making it 2 as Kyler gets another good play to scene then. The back line's over the water connector train. Seeing one player crossing, getting that kill. And that has definitely set the pace for the rest of this half. 1-on-5 for Steel. Domination from the CTs. This is a 10th for AVEZ.
That's a kick in the teeth if I've ever seen one. It's like, right, you know, hype the boys up. They've got a big comeback to get. They've got to get to a good start off team. No, they're in a 1-on-5 and Kai is just deleting you. Absolutely. And you know what? We saw a little bit of BM in that last round coming out from Larson. Kai's, he's going to give him a little bit of taste of the medicine.
Ten to the board of AVEZ. Movistar Riders. Like, what hope do they have left? How on earth do they bring this back? I think they may have to start focusing on the next series because this one already seems like a loss to me, Dweg. Two for Masters out, 2 M4s, Norot, and they've got a USP here. I mean, you're good, but that's very sort of risky sort of buy-up. Either way, AVEZ out to the B-bomb site. Kyler, Markosh holding face. That's good kills coming through. Cleaned up here for all of the T-side players that enter. Shox might catch one player off guard. No, doesn't get away with that kill. 4 HP for Markosh, 2 kills to his name. 11 to the board of AVEZ.
He wants to drop an AWP, Jay. That's why he's just going for the USP, because otherwise, if he would have gone for a rifle, there would have been no AWP potential. So he realizes the fact, okay, they didn't get a bomb plant, they're not going to force, so they're not going to have any, like, sort of deagles or any armor or anything. So if I've got a USP and they come Ivy, I'm not going to have to deal with any head Kevlar or any body Kevlar, so it's still not going to be easy, but that's the reason why. They can get that AWP over immediately on for Marcos, and Nara will get a FAMAS in return.
Indeed he will. But can't help but feel like if he'd gone down to that round, then that would have been a waste of a risky USP. But alas, Kyler, FAMAS standing, first player to face, seeing the first player as Shox, falls back here, does not bother with another aggressive face, just gets towards the bomb train, completely unscathed as well. So they get info with nothing to return back from Movistar Riders. Kai does get caught off towards Pop Dog, that's something gained, but smoke down to ensure that no one's going to make their way downstairs.
Pop Dog, a bit of contest at the moment. No one going down it just yet for the T side. They're waiting for an over-aggressive CT side. And I'll tell you what, Kai may be thinking about getting aggressive in T-Con. Oh, the timing is so awkward on the peak for Nara on the Jiggle Pigs. Gets instantly deleted. But do they know Kai is here?
Well, face up from Alex gets Kai. Indeed they do. 5-on-3 situation from us on site. M4 a sandwich. Kyler gets one. Marcos turns it around. M4 to lock out that cross. And Moppods falls for a hook line and sinker. Shox comes back with 2. And Bialy hearing those footsteps going back to the brown halls. Back over to the B bomb site. Shox gets that 3rd pick. And Movistar Riders getting some confidence on the first rifle round.
And that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see for the newest additions from this lineup. Individuals stepping up. That's a huge, huge round coming out from Shox. And we've spoken a lot about both him and Larson over the course of this series. And maybe not so much the biggest performers so far on train, considering, well, no one's really been a big performer from Movistar in this last map. But a big, big round is going to be able to put a bit of a shock to the system, because AVEZ now don't have money for the buy, and well, they've got a headshot on a wallbang.
It's a frag, easy as that. Kai comes up with 1 deagle in the back line, no more than that though, and Movistar Riders are going to overwhelm AVEZ in a similar sort of fashion as AVEZ did on the pistol and the conversion. And finally, some confidence swinging the way of this European side. Deagle left here for Larson with not much that he can do. This probably should be cleaned up pretty effectively. At least for a bomb plant, the 1-on-4, stalling for time. Movistar Riders here with an 8 for their T-side board.
Simple is, simple does. 8 to 11, 3 rounds the difference between the Riders and the AVEZ side. Now, I'd like to see a bit of a tactical being called from AVEZ, because, look, they've got a really good lead. They've looked very dominant on this map. They're on the CT side, so everything points the direction that this should be a map victory and a series victory in a 2-1 fashion for AVEZ. But at the same time, you don't really want to be giving up any more easy rounds for the Movistar Riders, giving up any kind of opportunities for Shox to just open up like he did in the previous gun round. Round 20. Very, very important for both sides, because you even look at the CTs, they have pretty much got no money in the reserve.
Run boost from the AWP. Larson doesn't see him. Smokes down. Movistar Riders not allowed the early frag. Not going to be allowed the opening kill. Way back, passive, and hold control for the moment. Very, very carefully played here from the Riders. Very similar to their T-sides of Inferno.
Yeah, that is true. Very much so. A bit of early damage done up to Nara. And Movistar Riders slowing it right down. Hardly used any utility to fake an outer take or anything like that. They're just grouping up in the B bomb. So it looks like Steel wants to at least use a little bit of utility to try and force anyone out of that pop dog position. 2 players are here at B, and it is the AWP of Marcos.
Flashes over, or watching Marcos. Flashed out blind, still gets that kill. Larson responds, Shocks gets Kyler as his sprays do not connect to any frags. 4 on 3. AVEZ are going back for the save here.
It seemed like they weren't really sure. We saw a lot of indecisiveness, hesitation, whether they were going to go for it or not. And it's one thing in Counter-Strike is that you've just got to make sure that if you've got a call from whether it's your in-game leader or it's just any player on the team, as soon as that call's made, you can't go against it. You have to go with it. Whether it's the right call or the wrong call, the worst thing you want is to be in sort of 2 minds where you go, okay, some of us are going to go for it, some of us aren't, or are we actually, and then you're just wasting time. It's done. You can't hesitate. And we saw a little bit of a hesitation there. In the end, they go, right, no, we're going to go for the save. We're not going to go for this. And Movistar Riders, okay. Well, it looks like we are going to have a bit of a contest on our hands here.
Indeed, we shall. What we thought was to be a simple matchup from AVEZ. Thought was to be a simple end of the series from them. Now turn into a bit of a contention here for the Movistar Riders side, this T side. Spalling, rolling within 2 of the AVEZ lead now. Of course, the half player's got to come back from the CT camp. The AK is in full. The AWPs from Opos to allow the full control out towards the old held position. The AK just watching out for anything that he can. Alex still here with the AK. Swung upon by Bialy. That's a good start.
Oh, the edge of the smoke. Oh, no. What? Marcos! Oh my goodness, the straight spam coming in for the deagle. Don't tell me it's going to end like this, Jay. Please don't tell me this is going to be the round that goes the way of AVEZ.
There's no freaking way. There's no freaking way. M4 sees 1, sees 2. Burst spray does not take Larson down. He's got info to back up. Probably going to realize the other player's coming in from Pop Dog. The backstab from Kyler could be massive, but they've got to wait passive and bait in the T-side forces. Here he comes. Back turn. Marcos gets another kill. Swing up. Player top of blue. Falls still left alone in a 1-on-4. And Movistar Riders have cost round 21. He gets his second pick back, but he needs to get 2 more. Bialy's so low. Kyler's on 100. If he falls next, but still runs out of ammo, and that will throw the round down the toilet. 12 to the board of AVEZ in one that they should not have had any right to win.
I've never wanted to pull my eyes out more than after that round right there. That should never happen. That is a sinful round in Counter-Strike. Do not lose to egos. AVEZ, I mean, just so many spams, so much damage comes through. And Movistar Riders, they just get picked apart. Still is left to try and clutch out all by himself. They're going to have enough money to buy the investment into round 22, but that is certainly a round that in no way should they be losing.
12-9. Rebuy back from Movistar Riders. You must imagine that on this scenario, with this context of the buy-up and the economy, we're looking at what could potentially be a Movistar crippled economy base. They need to win this round. And Larson will start things off on the right foot, picking apart 1 towards the B side. Overwhelming the entire defensive, in fact. And now straight up top of the grill train. Molotovs to force the next player to respond back out CT spawn. Are they going to save already? AVEZ are going in for another save on CT, so they're going to run right into Boppos as well. Swing out, takes Norot, sees the second player there, going to try to take these rifles right out of their hands, calling it in for his teammates if they want to go hunting. And indeed, he'll look for a next. Kai trades it though, but AVEZ are going to lose this round to Movistar so quick to make the decision to throw in the towel.
And you spoke about the crippled economy that could be up there for the Riders. It's the complete flip of the coin. AVEZ, the fact that they realize, hang on a minute, if we lose this, if we go for the retake and we lose, we actually have no money. We'll be on double eco status. It's going to make it so awkward. That was a very, very fast call to go for the save. And it came off Larson taking down the single B defender. And from there, they were like, yep, no, that's it. We're out of there.
Well, Blake.
Yeah, go on.
When did Train become T-sided? Because...
well, I don't know, when Tier 2 Counter-Strike just got sloppy. I don't know, like, it just... look, Tier 2 Counter-Strike, it produces some black magic. I don't know what it is, but yeah, look, it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be, and you've got to think, double AWP set in play, this is potentially the best buy that AVEZ can bring to the table.
Reinvestment coming through. Double up set up for Norrot and Markosh. Set with the CTs, playing common positions. Nades on to do damage to Norrot to kick things off. 58 HP for this guy. And still the Riders rotate to their default positions, not taking an aggressive face, not looking for the opener just yet. They will look for the execute towards the A bomb site though, it seems.
Slowly clearing out that T-Cold position of Alex, grouped up by a fair few teammates. No one aggressive though, so they'll be able to clear out this area relatively easily. The double AWPs, both of them, I'm just trying to see exactly where they are. Well, straight away, that's Bialy actually going down to the T side AWP. No one's quite back, but look at the information Kai's getting. He's hearing all the footsteps.
He gets a kill for it, swings on the second player over at Pop Dog. 4 on 3, Markosh burning, plant will be secured, and Movistar Riders will still low. He still gets the kill on Kyla though, and the AWPs will remain. One player close, sees one, scopes in on the second, could not land it on Moposh, and it's all left to Markosh, the last player left, the 1 versus 3. AWP back out to CT spawn, he's got to save it. Movistar Riders have come alive in the second half.
Oh my goodness, Steel is dinked down. He pops up and just absolutely deletes the player towards Ticket. That was such an insane kill. Movistar Riders, okay. Coming out of nowhere on this T side. And even Marcos struggling to try and hold on to this AWP. Shox is able to take him out. Okay, we could really be tied up here. There's no way of a forced buy investment, maybe a couple of upgrades, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a lot. They'll want to try and run those double AWPs again. Wow. I can't believe we're in this position. After they lost pistol, too.
I have no idea how they're pulling it off. I don't have a damn clue as to how this T side is looking good. The Movistar Riders were just pummeled into the dirt in the first half. And here they stand within 1 of AVEZ's lead. Shox, 2 picks, Eco Pistols out, gets the third tap on for his Quadra, gets the headshot as well. 7 HP though, probably best not for him to face any further. Kyla left it to try and take out 1. Facing into pressure coming through, and they're still there to close out the round. Movistar evening up against the AVEZ. Rifles to come back from the CT cap. Let's see if they can do it.
Let's see. We'll just have to wait for the rounds to trickle through. AVEZ. Now I would say the pressure's on them. Ooh. Okay, they're not quite believing in the comeback just yet, Jay. Maybe give them a little bit more rounds.
Close though.
It is. Very much so.
Much closer by comparison to earlier when we had like a 5 or 6 point something.
It was a lot.
Back from the brink, captains. If Movistar pull this off, by the way, like, what a result for these guys.
Yeah.
What a comeback, what a series, and what a way to take first place in group stage to make their way into the playoffs. The top team of Group B, AWPs in for Larson. watching down towards IB control. Not seeing anyone as of right now. I mean, it's really difficult to see anything past the edge of that smoke, and the IB control will get gained by the T side. Very aggressive up there, but not seeing any T side players of their own right.
Slow walkout from Oppoz. He's getting backed up by the AWP of Larson, but the AWP doesn't strike. It's the AK instead. The opening kill going the way of the Riders, and now they could just continue this pressure into the A bomb site.
Small gap from the AWP, could not see the man, could not take him down. Norot falling. There's a scout instead from Bialy, excuse me. Definitely does not get the frag, does not get the kill. Now AVEZ do rotate to heavy stack the A bomb site, or at least leave the AWP back there as stopper. Looking on towards T-Con, refacing, expecting Larson to be there somewhere. But nothing can be seen so far from this CT camp. Time is ticking. MOVISTAR Riders have got to make their move.
Stacking up B, this is the wrong call to come out from AVEZ, but they won't know that. They've got no money, and I tell you what, if they've got a triple stack on B and the utility goes out of A, this could honestly be an instant save. Marcos has got to do so much work.
Shot missed on the AWP, refacing, can't get a kill on the AWP, or the T side got to turn around as well. Be wary of the backstab, because now the plant has been secured. The site is in control of the T side, and he's been siphoned off from any backup. The other CTs are going to have to work their way in and try to save their man. He can fight. It's Kai there to take the opening kill of Mopaz. Shocks. Back here at Pop Dog, flashing against him, drops down. That's a kill for Kyler. That's the way back in now for AVEZ. 4 versus 3, but Steele and Larson trying back with 2. Marcos raises a 2-on-2, but Kai falls quick, so it's all left to the last. The AWPer of the CT side. Incendiary's up, no smoke for the bomb. He's going to go back to save again for AVEZ. A 13th for MOVISTAR Riders. They've taken the lead.
I can't believe this. I can't believe what's going on. 11-6, AVEZ had the lead, and now MOVISTAR Riders have chipped back in. Oh, money's not looking great either. This is going to have to be a half buy up the back of this AWP. Scouts up. CZ for Kai. MOVISTAR Riders doing the unthinkable at the moment. They really are bringing this back. And it's honestly like we're looking at a completely different team in the second half.
I'm just kind of surprised that we've managed to find ourselves in this position. Like, just how? I'm still just questioning, like, how is this a thing? CTs. Look at Kai, actually. Look at where he is. That smoke going up. If he pops out, gets anything from this. Oh my goodness, not quite the second play. If that was the one individual, sure, but still just going to be a 4-on-4.
It does all right. A nice little ladder strafe there off the top to get the opener. But instant trade comes through. MOVISTAR, so passive. They are just waiting for an overextension. And I guess that call was right, considering the fact that Kai got very aggressive through Pop Dog. But for the rest of the CTs, they're not really that keen on continuing aggression.
Gonna wait back with the AWP on Marcos. Utility coming in for the Riders. Smoke set, AWP shot already ringing out from the man. Bialy left, the AWP in tow. T-side players back up and out to the brown halls. The scout of Kylo is what will hold face here. C players making their way in, fall back, they know what's up. Scout not connecting its shot. They've got Bialy on rotation, but his scouts here to set the crossfire, and they just can't get enough damage. They can't get the shot to land. And as Wapos gets Kyler, it might force the CTs to save that AWP at the very least.
The AWP's got to be saved. The rest of them can go in and try and hunt, see if they can keep the economy low. It's really starting to build up now for the Riders. A steal at 10k. Larson as well. Narot.
What?
Oh, hang on. That's a TK with a nade. This could be an opportunity now for AVEZ to go for the retake. They picked up an AK.
AK still looking in the back lines. One player's creeping real close. They have no idea about this. Sprays through. Scopes in. Larson gets Norot. Marcos running for the hills. Bialy gets it to a 2-on-2. And that mistake could have cost them. But MOVISTAR Riders looking like they're going to hold on. The scout can't connect his headshot. I think Steele should get away alive. Malix is certainly going to get tagged up here, so maybe he might not escape. Is this going to do the damage they needed it to?
Ooh.
Not quite, but 3 players falling. Still a good effort from AVEZ, just not to be.
Now, we've seen the TKs in the back of the heads with the AKs and the M4s, but it's been a while since we've seen one with the HE. Oh, that was a bit misplaced there. They are very lucky that AVEZ didn't capitalize on that 3-on-3.
Honestly, imagine if they turned it around.
I don't want to.
Mistake.
I don't want to.
That would have just been heartbreaking and probably crippling. I want to say to Movistar Riders, and the confidence level was just like, great, we lost because Steel just naded me. You know, like that kind of mentality.
Yeah. Oh, God. And, I mean, for a return of AVEZ, they've now got the AWP of Marcos very aggressive through Ivy, and he hasn't seen anything. How much is this going to help them, though? Not a massive amount.
M4 set to the back line. Larson with the AWP. Trying to get Mopos a line in. Moving up to Sandwich. AWP seen towards Older Hell. Refacing and look for his man. I don't know if he gave out the information on the player out there. Beyond's got to set that crossfire. Does he see him? He does now. Spray through. That opens things up. Mopos to fall. AWP keeping eyes on.
That's the bomb!
Marcos gets the kill and the bomb. 5-on-3. AVEZ may have just secured the round.
Marcos was waiting for so long, and for some reason the bomb commits so deep in T-spawn, no one's watching Ivy whatsoever on this T side. They've been able to recover it, but this is now a 5-on-3, and the time is so low, they need to make a play, and it's got to be over to the B-bomb side.
Spray through. Kyler does get overwhelmed. Chance brought back by Shox. M4 is there trying to catch up. Larson looks on towards Steel, but Steel gets us back to 3, and Shox gets us to 2. Sees the last player outside of the connector area and loses so much health, but still manages to find the frag. All Marcos left. May have won the round with that AWP pick on the bomb. Now going to find 3 more in a clutch scenario for the CT side. He gets Steel to start. Looks back to the default position, firing through the smoke as well. The bomb's open over a grill. Double flash and smoke for him. He's got to get some out of the sight. He doesn't fancy his chances. He's going to concede map and match point to Movistar Riders. AVEZ are playing for OT.
What a choke. What an absolute choke coming out from AVEZ. Up 11-6 on the CT side of Train. Other than that, they've only been able to bring one more round forward. Yeah, one of the T players goes down to the bomb. Doesn't matter. There's so much money. AVEZ. How have we not seen more tactical pauses? This is such a choke, and for Movistar Riders, they are so close to being able to bring this to going into the playoffs. They are 1 round away.
3 to return for the AVEZ side. To try go to overtime. The buy is looking scrappy. You've got Kyle and SMG. M4's on 2. Double up set up step for Norrot and Marcos. And they will get aggressive here, Norrot in particular. Right up against the first player of Alex. He won't take face. He won't find the kill. Kyle instead aggressive with the SMG. Just hold the T-con position as Alex looks for them to over-aggress.
They are waiting. They are waiting for a gift. Movistar Riders. Slowly trying to take this Ivy presence. One thing they've been able to do a lot on this T side is sneak map control in, undetected, especially around that Hell and the Olive, Hell, and Sandwich position. This time around, it's out to Ivy.
Five seconds. Molotov's on the Triforce. Kai back out, ready with a smoke. Flashbang against him. He's facing away from it. Alex moves in. AWP being seen. Baiting in the shot. 35 seconds. Movistar Riders going to make their move in. SMG just gets spotted, taken out. AWP shot misses. Shox and Larson get 2. And Kai left to cut off the bomb planter here in Alex. Got players moving in against him. Kai let us find one good pick on Larson, but Alex trades it. 4-on-2 scenario. Movistar Riders have left stopper open. Kyler's still here. Mopo's going to check it and checks him. All left of the AWP. 1 versus 4 scenario to keep AVEZ alive, to try and grind back to overtime. But Movistar Riders are creeping close. and they will not go down. 16-12, a 2-1 win. And the new